I'm Nate Puderball with your sports update. Baseball last night saw the Pittsburgh Pirates beat up on the Cincinnati Reds 9-1. Henry Davis homered twice for the Pirates in the victory. The two teams square off again today with first pitch at 4:05. Brent Lauder taking the mound for the Redlegs. Catch the action here on the Fan starting at 3:35. Out west, the Guardians knocked out the A's 8-5. Reese Hoskins homered for Cleveland and drove in 3 runs in the victory. They square off again at 4:05 with Slade Ciccone on the mound for the Guardians. Last night in Cleveland, the Cavs fell to the Raptors 112-110 in overtime when R.J. Barrett hit a three-pointer with 1.2 seconds left. Game 7 is Sunday in Cleveland. Also, the NBA, Detroit forced Game 7, beating the Magic 93-79, and the Lakers finished off Houston with a 98-78 win. And in the NHL, the Lightning forced Game 7 against the Canadiens with a 1-0 overtime victory. Buffalo finished off the Bruins 4-1, and Vegas knocked out Utah 5-1. Breaking sports news and weapons of the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
The Fan is live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host. Place, name, here.
The randomizer of hosts has landed on these names. I'm Austin Ward. Got Nate Puderball behind the glass. And joining me on my right, he's a national champion. He's a captain. He's Michael Bennett. You've never heard this combination on Fan Sports Saturday before.
Oh, it's going to be electric. I can feel it already.
We're off to a great start. Just preparing for the show was fun because we're learning a lot.
Yep.
Happy Derby Day to all who celebrate, by the way. That would not be me.
I was hoping that you'd come in with a big fancy hat. What do you put? You got to put like feathers on it. It's got to be a little floppy, right? Do the guys do that too?
I don't think the guys do that.
Well, they should. All right.
Nate did when he was as a child.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, you know?
You have the big floppy hat, Nate?
Big old floppy hat, and of course, like some drinks.
Nice.
At 11.
11 a.m. or 11 years old or both.
Yeah, win in Rome, right?
Yeah, so that's today. We're going to talk about that with our limited horse knowledge or our strong horse racing opinions. We'll get into that. We've got, of course, if you've got me and Michael Bennett together, we're probably going to talk a little Ohio State football. Mick Walker from Letterman Row will join us in this hour. We'll have Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row, a couple of my colleagues in to talk about the Buckeyes throughout this show. We will have Tyvis Powell kicking us off at 11 o'clock. He's got the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. I'm not sure, Mike, if he's playing or coaching or the
Maybe
commissioner.
he's a player coach, Jackie Moon.
Everybody love everybody out there.
Everybody love everybody. Do your best.
So we're going to have to get some insight for that. I don't know what that looks like. And I mean, you've been around Tyvis.
Mm-hmm.
You think he can make the transition to the hardwood? Is his athleticism?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be blown away if he wasn't. Even if he went in not planning on playing,
Yeah.
I think that it would call to him.
He's getting out there?
Yeah, and he'd do just fine.
Okay. I mean, I'm just curious if some of his skill sets were specific to football because we've all seen him swing a golf club and throw it into a lake.
Well, golf is different. I feel like you're the more athletic you are, the worse you are at golf. It's an inverse relationship.
Are you just saying that because you're bad at golf?
I'm pretty good at golf. I've almost started counting my score.
Oh, that's
how
progress.
good I am at golf.
Yeah.
I feel like once you can reliably hit under 130, then you can start counting your score. That's about where I'm at.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm impressed.
I felt you were making progress the last time that I played with you.
See, sometimes I'm starting to figure it out. Put the weight on the front foot, keep your head down. But the problem is I still fall for that age-old trap where I hit a good shot. I'm like, you know what?
Got this figured out.
I got this figured out. Let me swing with everything I've got from here on out.
Well, see, that's from the Brandon Beam School of Golf. You don't want to go there.
He was my coach. He was the one who brought me up on it.
That seems problematic.
That was a poor choice, my friend.
You should have seen me before. He taught me how to play golf.
I actually got a text from Beamer, so I know that he's alive.
Yeah.
And one of the texts suggests that you have proof of life of him. You saw him last night.
Not last night.
Oh, okay.
I played video games with him last night.
Oh, well, he said in person,
but that's
so that was
AI.
a lie.
AI can, change voices and stuff.
I told him in person to give you a hard time, and I should have known that wasn't true.
Well, Beamer, I think, counts like over the headset as in person.
He needs to get out of the Matrix. Unplug, man. Just get out.
Yeah, I don't know. Video games will call to you when you don't have to come into work.
It must be going well with baby number 2 if he's got time to play video games on Friday night.
Baby number 2 is chill.
Yeah.
Baby number 2 is chill. Every time I've gone over and seen little Benjamin, he's just sleeping. I don't think I've heard him cry yet.
Okay.
It's impressive.
Are you the godfather for this child?
No, dude, tell Beam I should be, though.
I don't know
All
why
right,
you're
put a
not.
good- Hey, don't get me started. I'll start crying on air.
This is shocking news to me.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
can't think of
Everyone. Yep.
think of all the benefits of having a national champion as a godfather.
Hey, man, I've already put a PowerPoint together and gave the presentation, and him and Mayor just haven't made a decision yet. It's fine. It's fine.
What's the delay? You knew the baby
Let's
was
get
coming.
him on the phone. Let's ask him directly.
I tried to get him on the phone. He said he refused. All these times that he calls and asks me, hey, are you my 6:15 guy on Wednesday night? Absolutely,
Right.
Beamer. Whatever you need.
I told him last night, I was like, hey, man, we might have to give you a call. He laughed and said, don't you do that.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
All the things we've
Can't
done
help
for
us
him.
out. It's
You,
fine.
you don't get to be the godfather. I don't get to call him to be on the show. It's
Some
unbelievable.
friend,
It's unbelievable.
you know?
Busy day in the sports world. Looking forward to that besides the Kentucky Derby, which I don't care about at all. But this Fan Sports Saturday, the Crew tonight playing in downtown Columbus at 7:30. Crew beat Knoxville in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday night. Win tonight would be the fourth straight in all competitions. So maybe it's starting to go in the right direction. I'm looking forward to being down there. F1 is in Miami this weekend. Sprint is scheduled for noon today, qualifying at 4. The full Grand Prix tomorrow. Lights out at 4. I imagine you'll be able to find the Ward family at Land Grant for that one. The Aviators on bobblehead voucher night, Nate.
There we go.
You're supposed to get Jim Tressel. Instead, you got a piece of paper that maybe some other day you'll actually get that bobblehead. 24-17 win over the Gamblers.
We needed that win, though, didn't we?
I mean,
we needed that win.
Tours up.
Yeah.
Just got to get that momentum.
Yep.
Teddy's got to get things heading in the right
He
direction.
rallied the troops a little bit behind him and came away with a win. That's what we needed, because I got to refamiliarize myself with the record, but I think it was starting a little rocky there.
It was not the ideal start
Yep.
in franchise history. It was frustrating to me.
It's the only start in franchise history.
It's not the way you want to lift the curtain.
That's true.
You want to get a win early on. I just thought there was a missed opportunity because there are so many Buckeyes in the UFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you give something, they could have built a secondary, like Sean Wade is in the UFL, Damon Arnett is in the UFL, Garyon Conley. You could have built a UFL BIA secondary for the Aviators, the best in aviation, we could have called them.
All right.
In a no-fly zone.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, all the branding opportunities that slipped away.
It's not too late. We're just getting started.
Make some
it's
trades.
not too late. I still think that the Aviators have an opportunity to be like the Columbus Buckeye, place that we all go to when we're done with the NFL. Or
I think you could get out there right now.
Anything's possible, but it's going to be an ugly scene.
How many snaps could you give the Aviators right now?
If I tried hard, if I tried hard, I could give them one snap. Achilles gone. If I didn't try
What do you
hard,
need an Achilles for?
most things.
Oh, okay.
If I didn't try hard, I could probably give them. I probably could give them a good game of just really just phoning it in, just not trying hard,
Just occupying blockers?
just occupying space, putting my hands out so you can't reach me.
Okay.
But anytime I try to put some explosive force out there, everything's breaking.
That's why you weren't sticking around in the NFL career.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was a decision that
breaking
needed
down.
to be made. Yeah, it was, and I did. It was a decision that needed to be made, and you can feel as you get older the Achilles just getting a little bit more firm.
Yeah.
Not as springy as they once were. I still have a decent amount of the strength, but you start applying force through the strength and it starts getting ugly.
That's why we got to get that golf game going for you. Your Achilles will be
I
fine
know.
out there.
As my athleticism continues to drop, my golf game's only going to improve.
I think we figured this one out.
I think so too.
Don't go give any snaps to the Aviators. They're obviously on the right track anyway. 24-17 was that win. And in Tulsa, Oklahoma last night, Nate, I know you liked seeing this on the show sheet. Cody Rhodes defeats a debuting Ricky Saints. JC Jane stunned Charlotte Flair with assistance from Fatal Influence. The women's tag team champions Paige and Brie Bella escaped against Nia Jackson, Lash legend, while Sami Zayn
Callous.
murdered a gingerbread man in cold blood on SmackDown on Friday night. Strange storyline there, Nate, with the gingerbread man.
I always like it when Sami Zayn does goofy, and this is goofy, so I like it.
But he's trying to pretend like it's not goofy. He's playing it up at.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah.
It's like when he did the jackass thing. He played it completely straight.
Mike is over here like, what are these lunatics
One of my
talking
most unpopular sports opinions, I couldn't care less about professional wrestling.
Well, we are at polar opposites right now.
Yeah. he likes horses going in a circle. We like wrestling.
You like big, strong men run up against each other.
Big, meaty men slapping meat, Mike. I mean, how do you not like that? That's your whole career.
I'm about to say I made a profession out of it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Now, I think that's another transition that you could have made
To the WWE?
Because you have the personality for it. You got the size for it.
That would have been fun.
I think you could have done
I think
that.
I would have been a classic heel. Would have been a bad guy.
I don't know.
I'd go running into the stands swinging. People would have loved that, right?
See, you would have started as that, and then everyone would have realized you're really charismatic. And thus they would have started to like you.
You can get away with it.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's the problem because I've known you now for going on 15 years, and you're so outgoing and so engaging, and your post-playing career has been like great for conversation and content. But I do remember there was a little bit of an edge, a little bit of heelish tactics that you had in the gridiron.
I had to break that down over the years because back in the day there was quite a bit of an edge. I think the most recent, I think when I came back to Columbus in 2020, maybe I had a slightly different. There wasn't as much anger in there, but yeah, maybe 20 or 24-year-old Michael could have been a WWE guy.
I think so. Yeah. I don't have any doubt about it.
You could see me coming off the top rope.
Well, I think
Nacho Libre style.
I think you're more ground based.
Okay.
I don't know
see
if
me as an aerial threat.
I don't want to see you flying through the air with some moonsaults. I'm not sure that's your strength.
Now I gotta prove it. I gotta go off the top rope.
I think you definitely should.
Man, missed opportunity. I'll stick with Law for now, but WWE's always calling me.
Yeah, it's still there for you.
Yeah,
we're just gonna have to strengthen up, get some flexibility back in the Achilles. If you're going to the top rope for sure. I mean, that's no
true.
joke.
That's true. I don't see them using their Achilles that much, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Not many get-offs in professional wrestling.
I think you're underestimating the athleticism of the WWE superstars, right, Nate? I mean, but we do have a funeral next Friday night for the Gingerbread Man to look forward to.
We do.
Fascinating turn of events there. Backlash, of course, is next Saturday in Tampa. The Ward family, you can also find us there. We will be, Berm and I are heading down to South Florida to do some content with the new Bulls, who were former Buckeyes, Brian Hartline, Mike Salini, KJ Hill, Toby Wilson, and others. And it just so happened, Mike, to line up with Backlash next week and Mother's Day. So Allie gets to go to the beach, Liberty gets to go to Backlash, and so do I.
Nice.
That's going to be great. And this is going to be a great show. We've already teed it up. I don't care about the Kentucky Derby, but Mike is fully on board. We'll find out why, and we'll see if we can actually name any of these horses when we come back on Fan Sports Saturday.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Reds are on the radio.
Swung on first, high, deep, left field. There it goes. A 3-run go-ahead blast for Eugenio Suarez. They're waving around Friedel. Up throwing Anthony. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Reds walk it off at 11, 6-5.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th, that very special day that you can tell Mom just how significant her love has been. And what says love and appreciation more than a colorful, flowering Mother's Day gift from Oakland Nursery? She'll love a beautiful hanging basket just bursting with flowering color. Or shop Central Ohio's largest selection of hand-potted roses in a myriad of colors. Or lovely annuals for the garden. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Get something extra special this year from Oakland. For 86 years, moms have loved gifts from Oakland Nursery.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Aaron, I've invented something really important.
Great. Tell me what it is.
You know how water heaters never give the homeowner any sort of signal that they are about to quit working?
Jerry, did you invent a way to solve that problem?
I sure did. I call it the Eco First Responder System.
I like it. How does it work?
Well, when your hot water heater quits working and you have no hot water, just call Eco before 5 p.m. and we guarantee to install your new hot water heater that same day, even if you decide to go tankless.
Jerry, that's been our policy for a long time. What exactly did you invent?
I invented the name, Aaron. The name. The Eco First Responder System. I thought you said you liked it.
Sure, Jerry. It's a great name for a really strong guarantee.
When your water heater quits working, just call Eco before 5 p.m. and we guarantee to install your new hot water heater that same day, even if you decide to go tankless.
You're a great guy, Jerry. I'm really glad you work here.
Get Eco.
ECO.
GetEco.com.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Welcome to the Ohio Lottery's Made from Scratch show. Today, I'm sharing how you can make dough from scratch. We're adding a dash of fun and a sprinkle of luck. Now, let's get cooking and see what we've got. And voila! A fresh batch of Ohio Lottery $5 scratch-offs. Nice.
Play aces and eights with over $20 million in cash prizes and a top prize of $150,000. Players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Join our resident gambling degenerates, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money. Sunday mornings at 9.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
By the afternoon, temps will warm into the mid-50s with a partly cloudy sky. Patchy frost and fog again Saturday night into Sunday. We'll start near freezing. By the afternoon, we're back up to about 60 with sunshine. And then on Monday, back into the 70s again with sunshine, but a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon is possible. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Happy Derby Day from Austin Ward and Mike Bennett, Nate Puderbaugh. Nate Dogg, I know he has been to the Kentucky Derby.
I have.
I've been once.
You have been?
Yeah, I've been once.
Did you wear a hat?
Yeah, it was a bad decision, but I did throw a fedora on.
Okay.
Only time in my life I've ever worn a fedora. Only time I ever will wear a fedora. Don't have the head shape for it. It's a tough look, man.
Didn't work out?
Didn't work out. I didn't get booed or anything, which I halfway expected, but never wearing a fedora again. I got too big of a head. It looks comical.
Well, that's why you needed the supersize hat.
I know. I didn't have any.
And
I
the
didn't throw the
feathers.
floppy hat on. I gotta start looking for a good derby hat so I can be prepared.
Did you have a mint julep?
No, I don't. I don't even really know what a mint julep is.
Oh, wow.
I'm guessing it's a drink, right?
I think that's the specialty down
What's
there.
in it?
Mint
and julep.
Juleps in there. I don't know. I've tried to make it before. That was years ago. Back because like my father-in-law does care about the Kentucky Derby.
It's bourbon with mint.
Oh yeah, mint bourbon.
Interesting
What a
combination.
combo.
Yeah.
Can't believe that's not more popular anywhere other than Kentucky. I cannot bring myself to get excited for horse racing, and I don't. Am I alone in that? I mean,
I don't think you're alone.
Most overrated 2 minutes in sports.
I think that's a take, and I don't know that I disagree with it.
I don't get into horse racing. I'm not a big gambler. I don't gamble on sports. I don't gamble on horses playing sports. But I think it's
my thing. Like, horses can't play sports. They don't know what they're doing.
So I'll piggyback off of that because I think one of my most controversial sports takes is I think Secretariat is a top 5 athlete of all time.
No,
of all time.
Michael.
Top 5 athlete. Heart was twice the size of other horses' hearts. Literally twice the size.
That's a performance enhancer.
It's an advantage.
So it was on steroids, is what you're saying?
No, is that what happens when you're on steroids? Your heart enlarges?
Yes.
No, it was natural. He had his whole life. He's just special.
I just can't wrap my mind around calling them athletes. And I know that they
train.
Relative to their peers, yes, they train. They practice. They
perform. They compete.
Outperform. But do they know?
Yeah, they know.
Deep
Horses
down,
compete.
They know that they finished 5th and like next
Look
race
into
they got
a competitive horse's eyes. You'll understand it's a competitor.
I've got to find an extra furlough here.
Yeah.
I got to dig deep.
Horses are jerks. They compete with other horses.
Well, yeah, I know that. They kick humans in the head.
Yeah, it's like all animals. Animals, they do have a little something extra to them where they can compare themselves to other animals and they want to be the top of the pack.
How can we prove that? We need some technology.
Do you have a dog? Do you have a dog? My dog, I've got a Great Dane. My dog is a jerk. She doesn't hurt dogs, but she thinks that when she's around another dog, that dog should pay her homage.
Gotta be the alpha.
Gotta be the alpha. That's just, she's gonna bully a dog and then sit on top of it and then they'll be best friends. That's, I didn't teach her to do that. That's just how she views herself in relation to other dogs. She competes with them. Now, if a dog pushes back on her and she's like, oh, hey, we were just talking. There's no reason to get all upset about it. But that's horses too. They compete. They're side by side. They're jostling. I see it. I love competitors.
So you're putting Secretariat in the conversation with LeBron?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We could go through a top 5 athlete of all time, but Secretariat's up there.
If this wasn't Kentucky Derby Day, would you be?
I've said it multiple times in every top 5 athlete conversation. Secretariat's a top 5
There's
athlete.
just
You haven't watched the videos, huh?
I'm aware of the domination, and compared to the other horses, yeah,
that horse could run.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to discredit Secretariat's career.
That's what you're doing.
But it was a limited window.
That's tough. We talked about this. You're a longevity guy, so you're probably LeBron over Jordan. Because you're obviously not a titles guy, or else Secretariat's up there.
But that's the problem with comparing all of these, even just within the horse racing conversation, their limited window, you can't even count rings. Oh, we have all these Triple Crown winners. Nobody did it twice. They just give up.
It's a tough competition.
They're just done.
It's tough.
Just burn out.
How different is the Triple Crown from? Now, I'm not a big golf guy, so I'm gonna. Is it a Grand Slam? Yeah. How different is a Triple Crown from a Grand Slam?
I mean, you can
do a Grand Slam over multiple years.
All right.
I'd like to see Secretariat keep racing after 3 years.
I'd like to see a football player keep playing after 20.
Well, Tom Brady's got those rings for you.
We don't have it on the call sheet, but Calais Campbell going into his 19th year at defensive end. I got nothing but good things to say about it. That's absurd, outlasting football quarterbacks in the modern era.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. Secretariat.
Well, you put whatever you want on the sheet.
Calais Campbell, top 5 athlete of all time.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so
I don't know about that.
We're 3/5 of the way through.
He would tell you that. I remember.
You could have given me a billion guesses. A billion. Who's Michael Bennett going to put on his Mount Rushmore +1 of greatest athletes of all time. And so far, we have Secretariat, LeBron,
Serena Williams,
and Calais Campbell.
Serena Williams, and then I think you got to throw Jesse Owens up there. There are probably some others if I sat down and thought about it. Calais Campbell one time looked me in the eye and told me, he's like, yeah, I could have been a heavyweight boxing champion, but I wanted to play football. Never boxed. Mans have never had formal boxing training, but believed in his heart of hearts that he could have been an NBA All-Star and a heavyweight boxing champion.
Who's doing that now? Le'Veon Bell? He's out there saying that he can go. I can box.
Yeah, slightly.
It's not self-confidence.
Football players need some humbling from time to time. And getting in the boxing ring is a good way to do that. Do you remember, who was it, Greg Hardy?
Yeah.
He tried his hand out in MMA.
Didn't work out too well.
Not when they hit back.
Everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth.
Yep.
All right, so you have Secretariat. You have full respect on Kentucky Derby winners and racers. The buildup, and Michael, you've known me for a long time. When we first met, you couldn't have known that I like a good beverage.
Okay.
You weren't allowed to. You weren't allowed to drink that, and I was professional. So
yeah,
we kept it that way. But now you know.
Yeah.
If there's an excuse to go out and have an event and a drink, I'm all for that. So I think going to the Kentucky Derby, I might actually be more inclined to embrace that part of it. But that's just like hanging out all day and hoping for sunshine and better weather than we have right now in Columbus.
So I'm the polar opposite. I don't like gambling, and I don't like drinking. So when I went to the Kentucky Derby, I just wanted to see the horses. I wanted to see
all that for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to see. All right, which horse looks like it's ready? Which horse looks like it's a little scared? Which horse has a good glisten? Looks like they're
worked up a lather.
Worked up a lather. That's what I wanted to see. Which one's got that killer in its eyes?
Got that dog in it.
Yeah. Everybody else wanted to get drunk and gamble, and that's not my speed.
Whose heart is 2 sizes too big?
Do you think they were giving that man steroids?
Was the Grinch on steroids?
He was on the opposites.
Oh.
He was on.
Oh, he's
estrogen.
Too small. That's right.
Yeah. Does estrogen shrink your heart? That'll start getting into some moral debates. We don't need to do all that.
We're not doctors. What do you like? I do like to scan the names.
Take it away, Nick.
I don't know if we're 2 segments in. I don't know if they're going to let us do this again. Who did you find, Michael, that you wanted if you were gambling?
Yeah,
and you were scanning the names and the odds here.
Yep.
Who are you rolling with?
There are a lot of 50-1 odds out there right now. So I looked up what post position is the best post position, like historical win rate.
Okay.
Post 5, post 10, post 8.
Oh, we got to scratch at post 5.
Scratch at post 5.
Right to party probably would have been my guy.
Yeah. So now your favorites are 10, 8, and 7, which each have around a 10% win rate since 1930. Now, I like Further Ado. Further Ado's at post 18, but I went and read his bio. He's got some good pedigree. Obviously, they all have some good pedigree. He's got some good wins recently.
Okay.
And he has an experienced jockey.
Who's the jockey?
Let me see.
It's just I know you don't have to have that.
Some guy.
Johnny.
Some guy.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Jockey. Yeah, I know him.
Jockey.
He's really good.
He's been around for a while.
Okay, so you have Further Ado at 6-1.
Further Ado at 6-1 odds. You're not going to win a lot of money, but he seems to be the favorite.
Well, I mean, if you pick the winner, you get the money.
There you go.
You don't get any if you pick a loser.
But if you want 50-0 litmus test, I think he's what did he do? He won his last 3 races. Oh. He was Horse of the Year and won the Breeders' Cup.
Well,
all right, that's a big deal. Everybody knows about the Breeders' Cup.
Got a little momentum going.
Yep, won his maiden race, finished 3rd in a Grade 2 stakes race, and he won a Grade 2 stakes race recently. And litmus test has a 50-1 odds.
Okay, that's the kind of analysis that you can only get from Michael Bennett on a Fan Sports Saturday. We're going to switch back to Ohio State recruiting in 2 minutes. When we come back, Mick Walker will be joining us on the Fan after this.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Relax and let Kroger Delivery handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items. Then carefully pack your order in our refrigerated trucks. And our cool trucks keep your food fresh right to your door. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Delivery. Get free delivery during online deal days, plus $30 off your first online order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities. Doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you'd want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead.
Our condolences.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Rolling right along with Michael Bennett. You got some breaking news in the chat there on 97.1 The Fan's YouTube channel.
Yeah, Mr. Shadow of the Shoe let us know that Further Adu's jockey is from Columbus. He thinks.
Okay.
And I haven't taken the time to verify it, so we're just going to assume that the jockey is from Columbus. And so, I mean, if you're not reinvesting in your city, I don't know what you're doing.
No. Well, we've got 2.5 hours and plenty of AI.
We'll run a couple
researching
algorithms.
tools. Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of that by the end of the show. And maybe Further Ado will become the official horse.
If you guys bet on Further Ado and he wins, you owe me money. That's just how it works. I don't know what to tell you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'll come collect.
You know who else makes a lot of sense? It is Mick Walker of Letterman Row. He joins us on the Fan, Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Mick, are you excited for the Derby?
I am. I typically go up and watch it with my grandmother, but we have a family baby shower this weekend, so a little bit of different change in family order this weekend, but we'll still be hanging out, watching it when we can.
Mick, do you have a big floppy hat for the Derby?
I don't. I don't have a big floppy hat. My grandmother, who was in horsing, like the horse business, horse feed for a long time, we went up and watched it with her, and she was complaining about the hats, the mint juleps. She's just a fan of the racing.
She's in my speed.
She's a purist.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, respect. I'm learning a lot about the passion for horse racing that exists out there, and I don't really share. But I know that your true interest, Nick, lies with recruiting season, business picking back up. We've talked this week already on the Buckeye Show about coaches getting back out on the road. What's the most interesting spot that any of these Buckeye assistants have landed, and which, targets are most highest priority, let's say, for the Buckeyes right now?
Yeah, really, it goes down to one position coach. Mike's guy, Larry Johnson, was all over the globe, really, watching guys. He was out west, seeing Marcus Fakatu and Kasai Curry on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. Made the trip then to Georgia to see five-star edge commit David Jacobs and his younger brother Dawson. Also saw Justin Weeks and Waylon Wooten, who are a couple other defensive line targets in the Atlanta area. So Larry was all over the place seeing different guys. He also made it up to Chicago and saw a handful of 2028s, including Cameron McGee, Caleb Bone Crusher Tucker, because he's 6'5" and 340 pounds.
Bone Crusher?
But man,
that's what we needed in Columbus.
That is his official nickname, I believe, is Caleb Bone Crusher Tucker up there at Mount Carmel High School in Chicago.
Mick, with the changing landscape of college sports, how important is it for these coaches to still go out and do the classic recruiting trips to meet the players? I pictured it as, not as important. You can just, especially at Ohio State, you can look at the kids and say, hey, listen, send them an email that says, we just had 4 top 11 picks in the NFL draft. We got a whole bag of money. Do you want to be here or not? How important is it for them to still go out there and, put boots on the ground to talk to these kids?
Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on about the bad decisions the NCAA has made, but one good thing they did do these past couple of years is they've made it so these spring periods you can conduct in-home visits with guys. So Larry Johnson can go sit down with David Jacobs' family. Tyler Bowen this week, he was in Pittsburgh, and after watching Jimmy Kalis, the four-star offensive tackle commit, work out at his school, he then goes to the Kalis household to go have dinner with his entire family. So those meetings are productive. I imagine, Mike, you remember the in-home visits and all those different things that go. Those are very important to guys. I think kind of getting into those, getting the relationships built. I know some coaches won't talk figure, some will, so you also have the opportunity to do that. Those are the big things right now. I know, like James Laurinaitis or some of the other assistants, Centerville, like where you graduated from, Mike, they're going to have a showcase on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday this week, and there'll be dozens of coaches there. I don't know how many Ohio State coaches will be there because they'll be kind of out going around and different stuff, but there very well could be guys, and they'll evaluate the underclassmen at those things. But really, these first couple weeks especially are about these in-home visits and conducting them at schools and seeing family members and seeing people that are in relation and the important people in these recruitments.
Mick, you also got out on the road this week to get some insight and breakdowns. You can read those at lettermanrow.com. What do you think is the most interesting thing you have learned this week?
That I feel like every time now I see Jimmy Kalis, he's just growing another inch and shedding another 5 pounds. I don't think he's on the Awaken 180 plan, but he could be. I mean, he's consistently dropping weight, just slimming down a little bit. He told me this week he's 6'8", 285 pounds. He looks like a pure offensive tackle. He's telling me he's working out twice a day. 6'8" is what he told me, and that's from his coach. I've heard that from Ohio State side of things as well. 6'8". He did make Tyler Bowen look smaller. Austin Fields looked small, I believe, during a picture here at the spring game. He's a big mountain of a man, and he looked like it when I saw him on Thursday.
Mick, you talked to us about some of the targets that Ohio State coaches are going after. As it stands now, how is this recruiting class looking for Ohio State compared to some of the other past really stellar recruiting classes we've been able to bring in?
Yeah, it's still pretty light compared to the other numbers. I believe they still only have 11 commits, so you're going to probably double that, if not 1.5 times that, probably by the time this class finishes. So there's a lot of room to grow. But the fact that you have David Jacobs at the top of it, the 5-star edge commit, which is probably about as talented of as a player on the defensive line that they've brought in since, I guess, JT Tuimoloau or Jack Sawyer, maybe even Chase Young, like he's that talented of a prospect on the defensive line. So that was a priority for him this cycle, to pay up, to get that kind of thing done, to invest a lot of resources in that spot. And then after that, it's who are the other guys on each side of the ball you can kind of invest in. And the other guy then becomes the other David Gabriel Georges down at Chattanooga Baylor School, where the entire Ohio State offensive staff, including Arthur Smith, because of the new 16 pool of coaches rule where they can send out guys that aren't necessarily the 10 countable coaches right away. They're going to send those guys out, all of them out on Monday to go see David Gabriel Georges down at Baylor School. And I believe, like Berm said, from there, Carlos Laughlin's going to go up to Canada to visit his family. That's kind of the next guy. If you can get both the Davids, David Jacobs and David Gabriel Georges, then this class is probably on pace or looks as good as any class that Ohio State's going to sign from the top up in recent years.
Mick, are you surprised at all that Arthur Smith is jumping in the mix there? A lot of the conversation around his hiring in January and February as well. Ohio State's found this unique way to approach the staff structure and not having maybe the offensive coordinator be accountable recruiter. And then I know that the rules have changed and the situation is a little bit different, but it didn't feel like that was what anybody had in mind with both Arthur Smith or Matt Patricia in this new cycle, new era moving forward.
Yeah, it's kind of a twofold thing. One, I think whether it's Matt Patricia or Arthur Smith, they probably do enjoy getting to see the guys that Ohio State's trying to bring in and getting to learn about the actual ingredients they'll be cooking with here in a couple of years if they do land them. And then the second fold of that is with a guy like David Jacobs, if you're Matt Patricia, or like the guy like David Gabriel Georges, if you're Arthur Smith, it's going to cost a lot of money NIL-wise. A big commitment to bring those guys on campus. So if we're going to do that, let's make sure that we have every kind of touch point in the Ohio State program, meet with these guys, talk with these guys, get to know them well, so that way when we do invest this amount, we feel comfortable about what we're doing and how we are able to do it. I think they already feel that way with David Gabriel Georges, but I imagine Arthur Smith only met him, or he probably hasn't met him because David didn't do any spring practice. So this will be their first interaction. Obviously, he's down there in Tennessee. He's originally from Canada, but he's probably seen the Derrick Henry stuff, the Derrick Henry highlights with the Tennessee Titans. So I imagine that's kind of going to be the pitch, but it just benefits Arthur Smith to see what the guys are bringing in, but also kind of learn about the guys that they are adding as well.
Mick, now that the transfer portal is, hot and a lot of teams are trying to build their current teams through the transfer portal with veteran guys who they have film on, have you seen a difference, a change in the approach that these teams are taking to recruit high schoolers, especially with the top teams in the nation who obviously you still want to go get that guy who's a generational athlete and all of that kind of stuff. But has their approach to maybe high schoolers who require more development time changed at all over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's interesting. It kind of splits the class in an interesting way because you get these top guys like David Jacobs or David Gabriel Georges. You want those guys a lot. And then at the bottom of it, it's really a lot of the developmental guys. Mason Wilt from St. Clairsville, Ohio. He's a 3-star offensive lineman. He might not be ready to play right away, but he's an interesting guy as a developmental prospect. So you have those guys. You have the bottom, but the middle kind of where it gets wiped out. Ohio State did a better job at the end of the cycle adding to the middle where you have those 4 stars, those top 150 to top 300 guys. But really, it's a lot of, hey, can we get the bottom of our class filled up with developmental prospects and get the top filled with guys like David Jacobs or even, like a Michael Bennett when you're in the 2011 class, a top 100 prospect, a top 50 defensive lineman. Go get the studs up at the top as well.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for the shout out.
Did you know he had your recruiting profile just on top of the brain here?
I didn't. But what he didn't say was I was a much better offensive line recruit than defensive line. I didn't play much defensive line in high school.
Positional versatility.
Yeah, I just liked defensive line because it seemed like, it was more of a position for a dog. But I was a starter on the offensive line in high school. I don't know what my ranking was, but I do think, because I was in a triple option. It's hard to rank that.
Yeah.
But I think I was a pretty highly recruited offensive lineman.
I think it said that you were a high flyer, top rope offensive lineman.
Top rope,
yeah.
Aerial threat. That's what I want to be called, an aerial threat.
You were. Mick, get you out of here on this. You can enjoy the rest of your Saturday. You talked about these showcases. For people who aren't familiar, what is a high school showcase opportunity, and which ones will you and Byrne be at next week?
Yeah, so it's really just an opportunity for whether it's Centerville or any in-state. A lot of these in-state schools will just have a lot of them are during the day. So you stack a day so you can see every single one of the schools in the area, or even the GWalk one that we're talking about with Centerville. They have it so 3 or 4 schools are going to work out. I believe it's Springfield, or they're working out at maybe Northmont, and then the other 3 or 4 in the league will work out at Wayne. So you have an opportunity to see all the schools. Obviously, Wayne, where Jameer Brown was, or where Braxton Miller was, those guys are going to attract the players. And it's not a knock on these programs, but a Beaver Creek or some of the other programs in that area aren't going to necessarily get the coaches to stop by. But if you do these events like this, you can get these guys eyes on all of them, or even there's certain days where they organize. And Wednesday, I believe Byrne and I will be up in Youngstown to see Asa Birch and Anthony Blaylock at Warren G. Harding, and then Austintown Fitch, respectively. And then on Thursday, there's a Cleveland showcase that we'll probably head to. I think there's going to be some Ohio State coaches that make that trip as well. And you get to see a lot of the guys in a kind of a nice, easy schedule. Not a lot of driving across state like some of these guys, or not a lot of flights that you have to take from day to day. So that's kind of the benefit of it. And like I said, it just really allows these coaches to see a lot of guys in a short amount of time.
Well, looking forward to all the coverage that will come out of that from Mick Walker. He's got it covered on the recruiting trail 24/7, 365 at lettermanrow.com. He joined us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Mick, enjoy the family baby shower. Maybe you can sneak in some horse racing. Either way, enjoy your Saturday.
I will. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, Mike.
All right, that was Mick Walker. What in the world is going on with the Browns at quarterback yet again? Stick with us. It's Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
As the saying goes, trust is earned, never given. When it comes to your roof, who you trust truly matters. At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a business. We're a local, family-owned company built on honesty, integrity, and hard work. From the very beginning, these core values have shaped the way we do business, ensuring a customer experience that's second to none. Our dedication to quality has earned us the trust of thousands of homeowners across Central Ohio. At Newman Roofing, excellence isn't just a word, it's our promise to you. From the moment we step foot on your doorstep to the final handshake, we strive to deliver an experience that keeps you calling back for more. Whether you need a roof repair or a full replacement, our team at Newman Roofing is here to protect what matters most. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. So give us a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
Get Eco.
ECO. When your drain is clogged, our drain team will clear it for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it will stay clear for at least a year, or we'll clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Go to geteco.com.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future. All right, if you're planning that summer road trip, before you load up and hit the highway, make sure your vehicle is ready for that journey. At your main Honda of Dublin, you can count on same-day service to get you road trip ready. From oil changes to inspections, it's quick, easy, and done right. So you can drive with confidence wherever the summer takes you. No stress, no delays, just smooth sailing. Stop by Germain Honda of Dublin, just south of 270 on Sawmill Road, or schedule your service anytime at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at the Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, as voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on the Fans YouTube channel and 10 TV Plus.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Rothman and Ice.
We're hoping to add Zach here at 2:30, hoping.
So what's the deal? So I'm just calling him and we'll see if he picks up?
Yeah, I think that's how we're going to play it.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, Michael Bennett, but the JT's Pizza fan poll the other day, Berm and I were in here on the Buckeye Show, filling in for Beamer, who's just playing video games right now. And it was like, it said, who's going to start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? And the fact that you could put 4 different options in there, again, it shouldn't surprise me, but that feels pretty insane for an NFL organization, and it's May.
I feel like that's just the company line. I think they already know who's going to be the starter. I think we already know who the top 2 choices are.
Right.
I think it's a no-brainer that you should start Shador. I don't know if he's, I don't think he's a top 10 or 15 quarterback right now, but I think he showed a lot of poise, a lot of development. I think he showed that he could be a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Dylan Gabriel never understood the pick. I thought that they would have tried to trade him last year. I think they'll probably try to trade him this year if they're smart, or cut him. You know, you got to save some money somewhere. The rookie, they're probably not.
You got to pay Deshaun $1 billion.
So that's what I'm thinking is, you've given Deshaun, what was it, $243 million guaranteed. You're going to want to get your money out of him. And I hear what you're saying about, you know, the 2 Achilles tears and the other stuff.
Whatever that might be.
Whatever that stuff might be.
Allegedly.
The fact that he's still on the team is amazing. But you want to get your money out of him. He's making $240 million. If you cut him, you still owe him whatever that is, $60 million a year. So you're telling him, all right, go out there and tear another Achilles because you're going to play for the Cleveland Browns. I also think it would be good for Shedeur if our guy, he's not our guy, but if Deshaun was the starter.
Deshaun Watson.
I think it would be good for him to not just get thrown back into the fire.
Let's not call him our guy.
I blanked on his name and then said our guy. I was like, whoa.
I refuse to claim Deshaun Watson. Thanks.
I think
that's my fault.
We might not all agree on the Kentucky Derby, I think we can all come together right now, lock arms, and say Deshaun Watson is not our guy.
He's not our guy. I think that it would be good for Shedeur's career.
If he wants to loan me some money, maybe.
No, don't get bought out.
Oh, okay, that's true.
I think it'd be good for Shedeur's career to be behind Deshaun for a little while. Even if he's not learning exactly from Deshaun about like how to pick apart defenses, because Deshaun was good there for a little while. But when he played for the Browns in his first tenure, it was not a pretty sight. But it would be good for him to not be in the fire immediately like he had to be last year. And I think he did rise to the occasion. Like I said, he wasn't the best quarterback ever, but he was good. He had some composure. He was learning. You could see him developing throughout the year. It seemed like the team was getting behind him a little bit. So the more he can learn, how to break down a defense, how to function in the pocket, understanding the difference between playing quarterback as a collegiate quarterback and an NFL quarterback. I think when it is his time to take the reins, he'll be that much better. Now,
well, if you were getting 2018 or 2019 Deshaun Watson, the way that he was playing with the Texans, obviously we're having a very different conversation.
But that guy's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And you started this show on Saturday talking about feeling that tightness in your own Achilles.
Yeah.
This guy has torn it twice.
Yeah.
I don't, you rehab it, you hurt it again.
And he's a mobile quarterback.
That's part of his game.
That's part of his game. He has a good arm, had a good arm, hasn't played in a while. I just think that, one, you have to, as a NFL coach, you have to foster competition in your organization. So if they were just to name a starter, it takes a little bit of the fire out from the other guys. Even for the rookie quarterback, you want him to feel like he has an opportunity if he develops fast enough, if he shows enough good tape on film, so that as a scout team quarterback, he's putting in some good effort and some good film for the defense to play off of. But I would expect they start Deshaun because he's expensive and because they want to at least get his money out there, as much of their money out as they can. I don't think there's really a competition between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Now, it doesn't seem like the coaches liked Shedeur that much. For one reason or another, people have very strong opinions on him. But if you're just looking at the football, I don't think it's a question in any way that Shedeur is better than Dylan Gabriel. I think even in draft day, people knew Shedeur was significantly better than Dylan Gabriel, but the fanfare around him, some parts of his attitude, his dad saying he's going to be a big part of his process with whatever team, I think that really turned a lot of teams off to him and allowed Dylan to get taken third round. But I think you could have easily flip-flopped those picks.
Yeah, so the Browns, had their voluntary mini camp. That was before the draft. They are back for OTAs on May 19th. And Cleveland.com had reported, coming out of that mini camp that Deshaun Watson was in the lead. He was expected to have the inside track to the starting job. And I think if you're thinking about experience and the full upside and potential that Deshaun Watson had shown, obviously that makes sense compared to Shedeur Sanders and falling to where he did in the draft and all the other things that you mentioned, Michael. But, to have this, so Todd Monken responded to it, and he said, "It's my job to let it play out. not making a decision right now. He said, I'm not there yet. I can't say there's a leader. We've only been on the field for 3 days. And I understand that part of it. And I've also covered a number of Ohio State quarterback competitions, some that aren't even real competitions, where Ryan Day says, well, spring camp is practice 1 through 15, and then practice 16 is in August. You're going to let that play out. You have to earn the job. You don't usually see that play out at the NFL level, Michael. Yeah, you're investing so much money in these guys, including in Deshaun Watson. And when you say you're paying this amount of money and it's going to be $60 million guaranteed or whatever the actual breakdown is on an annual rate for Deshaun Watson, you got to earn that. You got to put him out there.
Well, he doesn't because it's guaranteed.
Well,
so that's the
so he
position
wants. You're saying he wants to tear his Achilles again. Get that money. Get that buyout.
It was in his best interest to tear his Achilles. That's a ridiculous thing to say, but this man's just been raking in money. Tearing Achilles is no joke. I'm sure it's going to have long-lasting impacts for him. But the fans hated him. The country hated him. And he was going to make that money either way. Now, I think he almost lost that money because he tore his Achilles that second time doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how he didn't lose that money. But, yeah, I think – and this is a situation, too, where a lot of times teams want to name the starter because reps are rare. You only have so many repetitions that you can give each player in the preseason. And every single repetition matters. All of it is for development. All of it is for evaluation. And so you have to decide who's going against the ones, who's going against the twos. And that's why I say it's almost better for Shedeur if Deshaun is going in as the starter, because then Deshaun's going against the twos. Shedeur gets to learn as he goes against the Cleveland Browns' #1 defense and gets to progress as a quarterback better. So I really don't think.
Well, if you're sitting there at 3 or 4 on the depth chart, you don't know when that next rep might actually come, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's different than a college football roster.
If you're not 1 or 2, you're not getting very many reps until the season when you're going to be scout team. And even those aren't really – they're not quality reps in the same way because you're not playing your defense. You're not necessarily playing with guys who are going to be on the field. But you can, still practice some techniques and learn a little bit here and there. But that 1 and 2 guy are going to be the ones who are getting meaningful reps. And so I think the competition is more between Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. I personally don't think it's a competition. I would be amazed if the Browns organization thought that there was a real competition there.
Right.
But they might, because like I said, I don't think they like Shedeur. Maybe they've grown, now that the coach is different, maybe they're going to give him a real chance. But the only reason I thought that Dylan Gabriel was starting over Deshaun or Shedeur to begin with was because he was drafted higher than him, and they had to get their money out of him too.
Makes sense. We're going to check on the strength in Tyvis Powell's Achilles as he gets ready for a little hoops later on Saturday. We'll check in with our guy next on Fan Sports Saturday.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-5193. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-5193. That's 800-507-5193. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
You've been diagnosed with COPD, but breathing seems to be getting harder. Everyday activities, walking to the mailbox, going up the stairs, talking on the phone, take more effort than they used to. Is this you? If your COPD symptoms are getting worse, there may be options that can help you breathe easier and get back to doing more of what matters to you. Visit the COPD Foundation website at isthisyoucopd.org to learn the signs of severe and worsening COPD and the right questions to ask next. Take action today, breathe better tomorrow.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Nate Puderball with your sports update. Baseball last night saw the Pittsburgh Pirates beat up on the Cincinnati Reds 9-1. Henry Davis homered twice for the Pirates in the victory. The two teams square off again today with first pitch at 4:05. Rhett Lauder taking the mound for the Redlegs. Catch the action here on the Fan starting at 3:35. Out west, the Guardians knocked out the A's 8-5. Reese Hoskins homered for Cleveland and drove in 3 runs in the victory. They square off again at 4:05 with Slade Ciccone on the mound for the Guardians. Last night in Cleveland, the Cavs fell to the Raptors 112-110 in overtime when R.J. Barrett hit a three-pointer with 1.2 seconds left. Game 7 is Sunday in Cleveland. Also, the NBA, Detroit forced Game 7, beating the Magic 93-79, and the Lakers finished off Houston with its 98-78 win. And in the NHL, the Lightning forced Game 7 against the Canadiens with a 1-0 overtime victory. Buffalo finished off the Bruins 4-1, and Vegas knocked out Utah 5-1. Breaking sports news, women's of the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Here we go, hour number 2. No better way to start it with Michael Bennett. Nate Dogg behind the glass. I'm Austin Ward. And Tyvis Powell joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. And Tyvis, Mike had your back. He said you absolutely could get out there and dominate in this 3-on-3 Hoops Classic this afternoon.
Come on now, listen. The only reason that I'm not going to is because I wanted to be fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michael Jordan don't need to come out of retirement. Now, if my team starts to go sideways and they not getting it done, then I'm going to have to check myself in. I'm going to be like Will Ferrell on, what is it, semi-pro?
Yeah.
I'm going to own the team, but be on the team as well.
You know, that's interesting that you say that, Tyvis, because Michael Bennett also compared you to Jackie Moon in saying that you could get out there. So I guess that answers the question. You're definitely dressed for action, aren't you? You're not getting like a Rick Pitino suit on the sideline. You got the gym shorts on, don't you?
I don't have the gym shorts, so I got some sweatpants on, which you can absolutely ball in some sweatpants.
But did you bring some basketball shoes just in case?
I will be wearing some Jordans.
Just in case.
I don't want to have to use my Jordans. You know, these are more of a fashion statement. But if they need to be tied up, they absolutely can get tied up.
So, what age group is this basketball league? Like, are you going to be going out there and dunking on 11-year-olds, or is this going to be fair if you jump in?
Well, I would imagine that these is grown men because my team is grown. My team consists of Cole Bartimus, TLC as y'all know him, Reimer, and Isaiah.
I was wondering if you had Reimer on the team so you had someone that could make a shot.
I like to call them the DWBs.
I'm not going to, Tyvis, I understand you probably have some politics you had to play, but I don't remember getting a call asking me to join the team. You must not know I'm a monster in the post with a 3-point shot.
I did not know that, because if that was the case, you know what? We're allowed to have 4 people on the team.
Yeah, you got no bench.
We can talk contract. I got no wind, though, Tyvis. I hope this is a half-court league.
It's 3-on-3, so
okay,
and ain't no way they going up and down the court, because I would have said, yeah, no, y'all own.
So what do you think you're working with, Tyvis? Because I spent a lot of time with Reimer, but he was getting his reps in this week on the Papa shot out, in the bullpen here. And, I mean, that's not going to translate. That's not what we're talking about this afternoon.
Well, I'm looking to run a triangle offense. That's kind of what I want to do. But, Reimer is probably going to be our shooter. I'm not our secret is Isaiah. I don't know what I'm going to get out of Isaiah yet. TLC has already told me that he's just an athlete that's just going to get rebounds and play defense. So I got a defensive menace, a Dennis Rodman out there.
Yep.
I need Isaiah to be Scottie Pippen.
So, Tyvis, do you have anybody who can dunk the ball? That's what we want to know.
I doubt it.
Can you still dunk the ball?
Well, you called them the DWBs. I'm trying to figure out what.
DWB stands for Dirty White Boy.
That's what I thought.
Listen.
All right, that answered my question.
I was trying to help Michael get there. It's like,
listen,
we're playing a ground-based game.
Have you know the phrase that white men can't jump, right? Okay, we got a bunch of Billy Hoyles out there. So I'm not expecting to see any dunking going on.
All you need is one Larry Bird, though.
That's right. I think that's what Reimer can do. I got a lot of faith in my guy, Reimer. Tyvis, before you jumped on, we were looking at the comments from Todd Monken in this four-way quarterback battle in Cleveland. That's just ridiculous, for one. But are you expecting Deshaun Watson to win that job, or what's going on there?
First of all, he don't need to fall into the same mistake that Kevin Stefanski made last year. It ain't no four-way quarterback competition. It's two people that is down to Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. Let's just call it what it is, all right? Because you're going to get yourself in trouble. And you want to say it's an open competition, that's baloney. Everybody knows it's baloney. So let's not even paint that narrative. Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders, and I think – it's funny because you see, obviously, Mary Kay dropped Watch the Throne this week when she dropped her article talking about that Deshaun Watson is leading going into OTAs and they should just name him the starter and let's get rolling. Well, it went from her reporting to her opinion piece, and her opinion piece is what got everybody upset. Of course Deshaun Watson is going to lead going into he's the veteran guy. He's the older guy. Of course you're going to put him number one going into it. To me, nobody can win no job going into on a 3-day voluntary mini camp that nobody came to. So, therefore, there is no lead from nobody in this one. Only if you want to go by a lead, the only thing you can tell me is that Deshaun Watson picked up the playbook faster than Shedeur Sanders did. That's the only thing I can see. But I expected Deshaun Watson to be the first guy out there. He's the one getting paid the most money, so he better be the first one in the ride getting the reps. I think you got to let OTAs play out. I know Todd Monken said that he's hoping to be able to name a starter by the time we get to mandatory mini camp in June and by the time training camp comes around. So hopefully that got roughly 6 weeks or something like that to kind of figure that out.
Right.
It'll play out. You know how OTAs go. These guys will separate themselves. One guy will clearly start looking better than the other one and then just roll from there.
Well, I don't know how OTAs work, but Michael Bennett does.
Austin, you've been around all of these training camps. You can see it be clear as day. Like, all right, this guy's just better.
You mean covering OTAs? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant practicing one. I can't really. I'm not on your level.
Spring ball, training camp.
It's the same thing.
Watched it.
I do watch. That's right.
Tyvis, do you expect Dylan Gabriel to be on the Cleveland Browns when the regular season comes about?
That's going to be so interesting. I think people don't give Dylan Gabriel enough credit. I mean, I get the fact that he's short. I get the fact that, when he was in there last year, it didn't look the way you wanted it to look. But I thought that he made some really good throws from time to time. It wasn't always perfect. He was a young quarterback as well. If Shedeur Sanders can go out there and make some boneheaded throws and look not as good at times and people still got his back, then why shouldn't Dylan Gabriel be able to do the same thing? So I think that Dylan Gabriel needs to play the off-the-field game a little bit better. He should have been up there shaking hands with Todd Monken and in his office just like Shedeur was. I mean, that would have been the best thing to do there. So I think he's behind the 8 ball when it comes to first first impressions. But I think that he's fine. I mean, he's a backup quarterback in the NFL, and he needs to learn to play that role. I think that he can absolutely go in there and still be a backup quarterback. Does he make this roster? I think it just depends on what they decide to do with Taylor Green as OTAs and training camp happens. Does he fall into the Terrell Pryor mold where he turns into a wide receiver because he's not picking up quarterback? Or are you really just going to beat your head on this heel? I think that he's also one of those guys, because when you get closer to the 53, now you know this, Mike. It gets close to how many guys can I cut and get back on practice squad, right? Taylor Green would definitely fall into that role that he could fall back into the practice squad, but also Dylan Gabriel could as well. So it'll be a coin toss. We'll see how preseason goes with those two.
Chatting, of course, with Tyvis Powell on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. And Tyvis, I haven't seen you since the spring game, so I haven't had a chance to pass along this comment. Multiple people, including my father, a great judge of television broadcasting, said that you killed it on the call. He said,
thank you.
And I don't know if this was a backhanded compliment or not. He said, Tyvis is getting a lot better. So you can take that for whatever you want.
I've had people stop me at work talking about how good Tyvis sounds.
I appreciate that. I really enjoyed it. I had a ball, man. I didn't know how much I would actually love it. Hopefully that's not the last time you'll see me on that. But yeah, I really did enjoy just obviously having the preparation. I would like to know what's the difference between that and a regular game. You know, obviously in a regular season game, it's not enough. There's not a lot of room for conversation because you're doing more breaking down and stuff like that. And it's more critical moments. So I would love to see how I would be in that role as well. So hopefully I get that opportunity one day. But I was very thankful and blessed to be able to do that. It's crazy how life works. You know, you go from playing in the spring game, and now you calling the thing. So, like, life has been really good. I've been truly blessed.
Was there something that you took away from that? Because I know you got to prepare. You mentioned doing the research and being around, talking to Ryan Day, Matt Patricia. I saw you there on Friday after the coaches clinic to get prepared for the spring game, and then you watched that practice play out the next day. Was there something that surprised you, something that you took away that you weren't expecting from that last week of spring camp for the Buckeyes?
The one thing the couple of takeaways that I took away was, one, Tavian St. Clair, obviously in the spring game, he lit it up. But, you know, Ryan Day has been on him. I mean, my goodness.
Right.
If you watched him in interactive practice, Ryan Day is right behind him trying to get him ready. So they really think highly of him, and they really expect him to, you know, be ready. Obviously, if Julian Sain breaks a shoelace, he's got to go in there. So I understand the urgency when it comes to Tavian St. Clair, and I thought he responded really well in the spring game. And another thing that I took away from Friday's practice and just all of the spring was that I am putting my name on the line. That Devin Sanchez will be the next great corner out of Ohio State. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Jermaine Matthews is going to be good as well, but it's the way Devin Sanchez has really taken that step from last year to where he is now. When I've seen him in the spring, to the plays that he's making, the confidence that he's playing with, he's got the size. I mean, the guy's 6'2", 6'3", got all the athletic ability in the world. That is what you want in the NFL, to be one of the top corners. And I think if he continues to let his game grow and he continues to get that confidence that I've seen him play with, he could definitely be the next great first-round pick. Not saying Jermaine Matthews won't be, just saying, like, I'm stamping that I think Devin Sanchez will be a bona fide first-round pick by the time he leaves.
All right. Are you going to put your name on the line for, you know, an hour from now, 3-on-3? What's the bold guarantee?
I don't know. I tell you what, I put my name on the line, and if it goes south, I'm going for 50. I will tell you that. I will check myself in the game and go for 50. They're not about to embarrass me. They're not about to embarrass me out there.
That was going to be my prediction, that you couldn't help yourself, that you would play.
I don't see how you'll be able to stand by and just watch if it starts getting ugly.
It's because it's not my. Because so I'm in a conundrum because my daughter's birthday party is today as well, and it's at like 5. So like I don't want to go out there and risk injury. Like that's the
Do you think your Achilles still has it in you to get some air?
No, I just hooped on Tuesday. So
okay.
I looked like Kobe Bryant / Michael Jordan when it comes to like the turnaround fade. I made every shot. I shot like 7 of them. I was 7 for 7. It's so unstoppable. So if need be, I will go out there and hit a couple of turnarounds if the team needs it.
All right. I bet they're going to need you out there in some form or fashion. Good luck this afternoon. Enjoy it. Of course, you can hear Tyvis Powell, T-Bone and Tyvis, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 on 97.1 The Fan. Enjoy the afternoon, my friend.
I appreciate y'all. Go Bucks.
All right, here we go. Julian Sayin now. Talk about Cleveland quarterbacks. How about something that's a little bit more clear-cut? The Buckeyes know Julian Sayin is their guy. He's also getting talked about as a potential number 1 overall draft pick next year. We'll talk about that next. It's Fan Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Bring your landscape back to life with an unbeatable deal from Ohio Mulch. 5 bags of premium mulch for just $10. You choose from absolute black, brown, or red to make your flowers pop and your curb appeal shine. Visit ohiomulch.com to find a location near you.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Your child is sick. With those 4 words, the innocence and joy of childhood disappears. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference. The power of play. Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Hey, are you driving high right now? You might be, because a whole lot of people do. They say marijuana makes them a better driver. More careful, more focused. That's probably what the guy who killed a 4-year-old thought. And now, he's in prison. You see, no matter what you tell yourself, if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival returns May 14th through 17th with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Bring Me the Horizon, and Shinedown. Plus, Pierce the Veil, Good Charlotte, Sublime, Godsmack, Breaking Benjamin, Marilyn Manson, and so many more. Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, May 14th to 17th. Passes on sale now at sonictemplefestival.com.
Get Eco.
I'm Aaron Gaynor from Eco Plumbers, Electricians, and HVAC Technicians. We like to have fun on the radio, but apparently some people find it irritating.
Irritating? Are you talking about those letters we got from Matthew and Bonnie?
No, Jerry. That would single out Matthew and Bonnie to use their names on the radio like that.
But people actually take the time to write in and complain? What do they say?
Something like, we hate that crazy guy in your ads.
Get Eco.
But you're not crazy, Aaron.
That's right, Jerry. I am not crazy.
You're just a normal guy trying to help people with their homes.
Exactly.
And if they don't like you helping homeowners with their problems, well, that's their problem.
Exactly.
I'm just glad they haven't said anything mean about me, Aaron.
Don't worry, Jerry. You be you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Jerry.
And thanks, Matthew.
And thanks, Bonnie.
Get Eco.
Eco Plumbers, Electricians, and never irritating HVAC Technicians.
GetEco.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Burn. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
By the afternoon, temps will warm into the mid-50s with a partly cloudy sky. Patchy frost and fog again Saturday night into Sunday. We'll start near freezing. By the afternoon, we're back up to about 60 with sunshine. And then on Monday, back into the 70s again with sunshine, but a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon is possible. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Slightly drunk, not yet. That's Derby Day. That's later.
Derby. That starts at 2 p.m.
That's Columbus Crew home game in the evening. Don't worry about that. Planning ahead. Big day of sports, of course. Michael Bennett, he's already got his pick. He is locked in with further ado.
We told him Columbus Jockey.
That's
support your local business.
We didn't even check it out, but somebody told us it was true, and we just immediately believed it.
Everything you read on the internet is real.
We've had over an hour where we could have looked up who this jockey was, and we just instead talked to Tyvis Powell about the 3-on-3 tournament. We had Mick Walker to break down Ohio State recruiting, coaches on the trail. We will have Spencer Holbrook on here shortly at 11:30 to also talk about what has happened for Ohio State in the spring camp and NFL draft, and combine both of those things with Julian Sayin, who I do get somewhat annoyed by the way too early stuff. Mike.
Yeah.
I know that it's all done to generate conversation. I've worked in the media for 20 plus years. I've certainly participated in some of these polls and preseason awards and all that stuff. I'm just as much to blame. And also, I've walked right into this trap because I'm going to react to, everyone's putting out 2027 mock drafts. And the one that caught the most attention for me, obviously, I cover Ohio State. PFF says Julian Sayin, they've got him number 1 overall on the board. Here's what they said. It's difficult to envision a scenario in which the Cardinals, so they actually, this is where they even took it further. You could just list 32 prospects and have Julian Sayin up top. They took it further. They say the Cardinals specifically are going to be the worst team in the NFL, and they're going to take Julian Sayin. They said it's difficult to envision a scenario in which the Cardinals are not searching for a quarterback near the top of next year's draft, even though they selected Carson Beck in the 3rd round this year. I would say especially because they selected Carson Beck, but that's just me. Sayin was the highest graded FBS quarterback last season, but he will need another full year in the spotlight for the preseason national championship favorites. If this pure pocket passer replicates his play from last year, he should be a top selection. By the way, number 2 on that list going to the Miami Dolphins, Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I don't see any world where Jeremiah Smith isn't the first player off the board. I don't see any world where that happens.
He's the best prospect.
He's been the best prospect for 3 years.
Ever.
Yeah.
He's a generational. We all know that. We don't have to recover and rehash that ground, Mike. But I do feel like there is probably a scenario where quarterback desperate teams actually do pass on the most sure thing that any of us will ever see in the NFL draft. That's how I view Jeremiah Smith.
You do need someone to throw him the football.
Exactly. If you don't have a quarterback, then what is the point of
what do you need him? Yeah.
And that's an argument.
But I think it's interesting because I love getting your takes on the quarterbacks. A couple of years ago, we were doing some of those shows, getting ready for Oregon, and you said Will Howard's got something to prove. And at that point, it was like, I don't know, it feels like he's on a really good track. But you saw some things that had you a little bit concerned, and you're using your depth of experience and knowledge and playing at the NFL level, and say he's got to do this and that to take the next step. He did. In the playoff run, the Buckeyes won a national championship with Will Howard doing all those things. But when you think about what Julian Sayin has to prove, which I still think there's a lot, why this is way too early. If he'd been in the draft last week, it wasn't going to be a first-round pick because he's only had 14 career starts. He's going to be better. Yeah, I have great confidence in that with Ohio State's coaching, with Julian Sayan's ability to process, make decisions. His accuracy is off the charts. I think that this article here referenced him as a pure pocket passer. I think Ohio State needs him to do more than that. I think he's capable of doing that with the athleticism and using his legs, and we saw that against both Indiana and Miami, how that could have helped the Buckeyes offense. But, you don't have to take this as gospel, but there's also the potential where you could see him be a number one pick. There's also another world where he might be projected as a third-round pick, even if he plays really well for Ohio State next year, because there will be concerns about being just a shade under 6'2" and not the prototypical NFL body frame, and maybe he would return to college. All of this is premature.
Yeah, so I think that's the tough part when you start getting into the NFL draft projections. If we're talking Heisman, and we had this conversation a couple weekends ago, I think there's an argument that can be made that he'll win the Heisman. I think there's an argument that can be made. I would actually make that argument that he's the best quarterback in college football this year and has the opportunity to prove that. But when you're talking the draft, like you said, 6'1", I don't know his hand size, but teams care. They care about his height. They care about his presence in the pocket. He's young. He got a little flighty last year against better teams. Ruben Bain really put a lot of pressure on him, and it didn't look like he knew how to adjust to that yet. In my mind, evaluating a college quarterback, that is okay. He was first, like you said, first year starting. That's just going to be some of the learning curve that he's going to have to figure out. I expect him to be a lot better at that this year. But to be a first rounder, I'd say, even a top 10 pick, he's going to have to show a lot more poise. He's going to have to show that he has the ability to break down defenses. He's going to have to show that he has an arm that can drop the football in a bucket, because he's not going to be a Ben Roethlisberger type who can stand in, or Cam Newton, who's just huge and just a different breed of athlete.
Yeah.
He's going to have to show that he has the Drew Brees minutia, or at least the opportunity to develop into some kind of player like that. And that's going to be, we're going to have to see that over the course of the year. And most importantly, he's going to have to perform against the best defenses that he faces. He cannot go and blow out Purdue and then be like, I'm going to be a top 10 pick.
Right.
He needs to perform well, not just Ohio State, him personally, against the best defenses he faces, against the best adversity he faces, for these NFL coaches to say, okay, I think he can, when the bullets start flying, I think he can lead our team. Because they're not drafting somebody in the first round as a maybe. They're drafting you to come in and be a franchise player for them for hopefully 4 years. That's a big gamble. That's a lot of money. And I personally think, without getting into in-depth evaluation of every quarterback in college football, I think he's the best college football quarterback going into 2026. But would a team take a 6'5" better athlete quarterback who may not be a better college football,
or just has a famous last name,
Don't get me started on that. He's another one.
I was trying to.
Yeah, he's another one who I don't think he's anywhere in the same realm as Julian Sayin as a skilled quarterback. Arch Manning, if anybody was wondering who we're talking about, I don't think he's got real quarterback skills. I think he is a classic college quarterback who's more athletic than the average quarterback in college football and can make plays. I did not see his throwing ability develop. I didn't see his decision-making ability develop. Now, there's a lot of time between last season and this upcoming season, so maybe he's been in the film room, maybe he's been grinding, but I'm not sold on Arch Manning being anywhere above a third-round pick. But yeah, Julian Sayin, it's hard to tell what college or what NFL coaches are going to value when they watch his tape. But for him to move up the draft board, he's going to have to perform well and look like he has the opportunity to really pick defenses apart with his mind and his arm.
Just a little bit more than 4 months to go, and we'll see Julian Sayin and Arch Manning head-to-head again. The countdown is on for me, and the countdown is on to training camp for Ohio State in August. How many starting jobs are actually going to be open for the Buckeyes? Spencer Holbrook will take a stab at that next on Fan Sports Saturday in 2 minutes.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself, but here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Join T-Bone and Tyvis mornings on The Fan for football, food, and fun, featuring T-Bone.
Now, when you were talking about the football stuff, I was listening, but when you said Waffle House, I leaned forward in my chair.
And national champ Tyvis Powell.
I was staring myself in the mirror for a good 10 minutes today looking at it.
Where they solve all the world's complex problems.
We're not putting the toothpaste back in the toothpaste container.
Sponsored by Capital Ford of Columbus.
Football, food, and fun with T-Bone and Tyvis. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on The Fan. If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Something tells me there's no Bloody Mary for Spencer Holbrook with a newborn in the house.
Maybe that's 2 Bloody Marys.
I don't know. Is that right? Are we already cracking open some beverages this morning, Spencer?
Maybe he is. I'm feeding him right now. So, no, we are not. Maybe he is.
Okay. He's got the good stuff. Hopefully you're getting a little bit more sleep. We are joined by Spencer Holbrook on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He works at Letterman Row, and his last story was about position battles. You were gazing into the crystal ball, Spencer. Which is the most pressing position battle in your mind?
I think it's the offensive line, just because getting that settled quicker and sooner than later would be best for everybody involved. Better for Julian Sands to know who he's got to trust. Better for Tyler Bowen to know what the situation is there. The depth looks like it's good, but there were enough guys out for the spring and the back half of spring that you still question a little bit of that. So getting left tackle, right guard figured out. If Ian Moore is ready to go and it's as simple as just sliding Austin Saraveld over to right guard, I would say that's, I think, the best case scenario, because Saraveld is a true potential first-round guard who can play tackle, and Ian Moore has really good NFL upside as well. So I think that's probably the best case scenario. But getting all of that shuffle sorted out is probably the biggest and most pressing need.
Spencer, as you go through these different position battles, I want you to give me your top 2 position groups that you're most excited to see this year. I only say top 2 because I feel like I know your top 1.
I'm going to go with corner.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, for some reason, you can ask Austin, I am super excited about this cornerback group. It's probably my biggest piece of talking right now. Just with you talk about Earl Little playing nickel, is that corner? I don't know, but I'll count it. Jermaine Matthews potentially playing nickel when he is not playing outside, and then a guy like Dom Kelly, who I think could be one of the best players on this defense by the end of next season. Corner is probably right up there for me. And then I'm really excited for this wide receiver group. That's just because of
he just wanted to make you wait.
That's the one I expected.
Yeah. I mean, you guys said best for last with Chris Henry Jr.'s emergence in the spring game, but also the potential of Brock Boyd, his Legend Bay counted in there. He's just a quote unquote weapon. So how do they use him? Maybe in the slot a little bit. Does Jeremiah get to move around because of Kyle Parker and Devin McQuinn and their experience? All of that needs to be sorted out. And then, oh, by the way, you got to now who's going to be a 2-time captain and Brandon Ennis on the inside. Where does that all shake out? How does that all figure in? Jaquaden Guilford, another guy who I thought had a pretty good spring as a true freshman. So there's a lot to like there in the wide receiver room. And I was just fixated on those receiver corner battles that we were watching in spring practice when we were out in there, just because those 2 groups are so exciting to me.
Spencer, did the hamstring injury for Legend Bay change anything in your mind for not necessarily his long-term potential, because that should be unaffected. And Ryan Day said last Friday that everyone is going to have full summers, so he didn't carve out any exceptions, so that would include Legend Bay. But the way that camp started with comparisons to Tyreek Hill and to Curtis Samuel, and with Carlos Lachlan saying that the way that Legend Bay runs is like art, I felt like we were maybe walking up to the point of hyperbole for what a true freshman could do, and that it might have actually been a benefit to cool off some of that hype. Do you still think, did anything change in your mind with how he might impact year one?
Yeah, I thought we were actually heading toward the point of no return where, people would be upset if he didn't have a superstar season as a freshman once we were getting to that hyperbole moment, so I think you're right that it is probably maybe not for the best that he had a hamstring injury. I'll never say that, but
right.
As far as just cooling it down a little bit, it was probably time to pump the brakes just a bit. The thing that I am starting to question is, what do they always say about spring? What is it? There's a lot of basics and then a little bit of install. Legend as a freshman is probably going to be a guy that you're going to have a package for. And if you weren't able in the back half of spring, once you got past those basics of spring ball, if you weren't able to really install anything with him, does that kind of damper what they were hoping to do with a little bit of those packages on the offense? Does that make it harder to put something in August? I do have questions about that. And so I wonder if we should start to kind of back off a little bit of that, Legend Bay freshman superstar talking. But at the same time, if he's talented enough, and we all think that he is, and Ohio State's coaching staff clearly thinks he is, they'll probably find some sort of role for him. But the idea that he could, start or really make an impact, in a place like DKR down there in September at Texas, I wonder if that's being a little more slow played right now than it was at the beginning of March when he was getting those Tyreek Hill comparisons.
Spencer, we had 4 Buckeyes go in the top 11 picks of the NFL draft, 3 of them from the defensive side of the ball. Then you had Caden McDonald go early in the second round, who I think was the best nose guard coming off the board. We also spoke to Tyvis earlier today, who said he's putting his name behind Devin Sanchez as the next great cornerback for Ohio State. You're talking to us about how the cornerbacks and the DBs are one of your favorite position battles coming into this year. How are you feeling Ohio State is going to measure up on the defensive side of the ball, losing as much amazing talent and leadership as we did in the draft, but also rebuilding through various, transfers and recruiting?
I think I said this to Austin a couple weeks into spring practice. I don't think this defense is going to be better than last year's, but I do think it might be more athletic, which could give Matt Patricia and those guys a little bit more versatility in what they want to do, a few different looks that they could give. They were really exotic last year. I think that could even ramp up a little bit more because the guys that you're replacing those first-round picks with some veteran talent. Terry Moore from Duke, Earl Little Jr. We're talking about, bringing back Jermaine Matthews. We're talking about the linebackers who are pretty versatile. And I think that group is only going to get deeper as you see Sincere Johnson kind of rise up the ranks and Riley Pettijohn come back into the fold and TJ Alford continue to get his feet under him. I think that there's a little bit more depth on this defense, and I actually think that it could be a little bit more athletic. Does that mean anything? Maybe not. I don't know. But I will say it has the makings of a special defense. Number 1 in the country, we'll see. That's a really hard bar to clear. But I do think that to think that they could be a top 10, 15 unit is not out of the realm of possibility. And if you still have a top 10 or 15 defense and your offense takes a 5% jump forward, you're probably still going to be potentially better this year than you were last year. Now, with the schedule, it might not look like that, but I think that it has the makings of still being a special defense to help this offense enough.
Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row joining us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Who's somebody that you don't think you have talked enough about that you wish you had?
Probably, and Mike just said his name, probably Devin Sanchez. I just think that, with the attention on Jermaine, when we talked to Jermaine about the way the last year ended, with the attention on, from me, a guy like Dom Kelly, and on the safety battle and the defensive tackles and trying to replace K-Mac and all of that, there's just a 5-star second-year player who was really good at the end of last year, kind of lurking there on one of the sides of the field at corner, who's the ideal Tim Walton cornerback. I don't think I gave him enough buzz. And then the other one is John Walker. Everybody talked about James Smith, all spring, and I think he had a really good spring and improved that he can play at a really high level despite leading Alabama. And I guess I just kind of slotted him in as a starter, but I'm not sure that that's the smartest thing to do because of the second half of the spring that John Walker had. You just saw him slowly but surely get better and better as the spring went on. And it's not that James Smith plateaued or anything, but you saw the progression from John Walker, and it's enough to get excited about. And I don't think we gave him enough buzz there in March and April. And I think that he could really come on here in August and start to make some noise as a potential difference maker by the time they go down to Texas.
Spencer, real quick before we get you out of here, I have a lot of curiosities about this offensive line. You spoke about them briefly earlier, and kind of piggybacking off what you said about the defense. That defense last year was, in my opinion, I've said it multiple times, best defense Ohio State's ever put on the field. But the focus this year is not on the defense because they don't need to be that. The focus is that we have a returning quarterback, arguably the best receiver in the nation. So the focus to me is on the offensive line. How do you see this offensive line stacking up against offensive lines of the past? Because we had some incredible offensive lines in Ohio State history.
Yeah, it all just depends, Mike, on does Carson Hinsman take another step forward? He took a huge one last year. He was really good last year for most of the season. Does Luke Montgomery take another step forward? I'll never get out of my head the Ryan Day quote from Luke's freshman year where he said, everything you put into Luke Montgomery, you'll get out. They've gotten a lot out of him already. I mean, they won a national championship with him in the rotation at guard. Can they get even more out of him? Because the potential is there for him to be a really high-level player. And I think he was a good player last year. I think he's got to take that step. And, the tackles are one thing. Phil Daniels was good last year when he was healthy. People don't really realize how hurt he was toward the end of the year. Austin Sarabeld obviously was really good. But the interior taking a step forward would be just as big for this team as the tackles becoming, top 2 or 3 round tackles. If the interior is good, they're going to be able to run the ball better because I thought the run game was actually a little lacking last year on the interior. And if they can take that step forward with Bo Jackson and with this offensive line in the run game, you're going to see this thing really take off because then you're going to have to pick your poison. I don't think that people had to pick their poison nearly enough last year. They knew that Bo Jackson, Isaiah West, C.J. Donaldson were only going to get 5 or 6 yards. I think they only had 4 rushing touchdowns of more than 10 yards last year. So if they can start to hit those home runs in the run game from the interior of the offensive line, you can see the whole thing open up, which they didn't get enough of last year. And so if Carson Hinsman, Luke Montgomery, and either Austin Sarabeld, Gabe Van Sickle, Josh Padilla, insert right guard here, take another step as well, you're talking about an offensive line that you're really, really excited about that I think Austin's going to love this, I think could compete for the Joe Moore Award at the end of the year.
Oh, you're back on the Joe Moore Award fan club list, huh?
Well, I think it's a flawed award, but it's one that's worth trying to win if they're going to hand it out.
Okay, that's fair. Before we get out of here, you get back to being a dad. Where do you fall on is the Kentucky Derby good or not?
I watched the Kentucky Oaks last night. Didn't hit my trifecta. That's okay. I've come around on the Kentucky Derby. My in-laws are entirely from Kentucky. We had a Derby party last year. It's a lot of fun when you get a lot of people involved to watch the Derby. But if you're just sitting at home by yourself watching the Derby, it's kind of like the scene from Step Brothers. Now it seems a little messed up. But if you have a large party and you're all there and everybody's rooting on a different horse, or you've got a large sum of money on a long shot and they pull through like Rich Strike did a few years ago, yeah, I can get behind the Derby, and I've come to appreciate a little more. But today, I'm going to watch it with my son. It's not going to compete with watching the final round of the Masters with my son for the first time. But it's fine. The best 90 seconds in sports. I think there are other 90 seconds I would take in sports, but it's a good one. Just don't tell my in-laws that I think there are better things than the Kentucky Derby on a May Saturday.
Oh, bad news, Spencer. You were just on radio, and it's archived on 97.1 The Fan's YouTube channel. All right, enjoy daddy duty the rest of this day. Thanks for taking the time. He is Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row. You can find all of his work there or on X, which is the Everything app. You want to give that plug, Spencer?
Yeah, at Spencer Holbrook on X. Like you said, the Everything app. That's X, the formerly known as Twitter, not X, the Xander Schauffele app. Make sure you get that right, Austin.
My mistake. Thanks again for joining us. We will be right back to continue educating ourselves on the Kentucky Derby with Michael Bennett. It is Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Some choose the fast way, others the easy way. But you do things the right way, like Exmark Mowers and Boss Brothers Power Equipment. Exmark builds the world's finest zero-turn mowers, providing a legendary quality of cut, dependability, along with an experience that makes mowing feel like anything but work. Because if it's worth doing right. Stop by one of Boss Brothers' 3 convenient locations in Powell, Sunbury, or Marysville and discover the Exmark mower that will give your lawn the cut it deserves. Boss Brothers Power Equipment, delivering enjoyment in mowing since 1989. As the saying goes, trust is earned, never given. When it comes to your roof, who you trust truly matters. At Newman Roofing, we're more than just a business. We're a local, family-owned company built on honesty, integrity, and hard work. From the very beginning, these core values have shaped the way we do business, ensuring a customer experience that's second to none. Our dedication to quality has earned us the trust of thousands of homeowners across Central Ohio. At Newman Roofing, excellence isn't just a word, it's our promise to you. From the moment we step foot on your doorstep to the final handshake, we strive to deliver an experience that keeps you calling back for more. Whether you need a roof repair or a full replacement, our team at Newman Roofing is here to protect what matters most. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. So give us a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th, that very special day that you can tell Mom just how significant her love has been. And what says love and appreciation more than a colorful, flowering Mother's Day gift from Oakland Nursery? She'll love a beautiful hanging basket just bursting with flowering color. Or shop Central Ohio's largest selection of hand-potted roses in a myriad of colors. Or lovely annuals for the garden. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th. Get something extra special this year from Oakland. For 86 years, moms have loved gifts from Oakland Nursery.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
The Reds are on the radio.
Swung on first, high, deep, left field. There it goes. A 3-run go-ahead blast for Eugenio Suarez. They're waving around Friedel. Up throwing Anthony. Throw to the plate, not in time. And the Reds walk it off at 11, 6-5.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
As parents, we have a million things running through our minds. Playdates, checkups, laundry, diapers, work, groceries. So it's easy to make a mistake. Oh, I forgot birthday candles. We say we'd never put our kids in danger by leaving them in the car alone.
Sit tight, hon. I'll be right back.
But temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you. And every time you park the car, stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Reds are on the Fan's family of stations all season long. If you don't listen, Terry Francona will ride his scooter to your house and yell at you. Your home of the Reds. The Fan, The Fan 2, and The Fan 3. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Breaking news on Fan Sports Saturday. Michael Bennett and Austin Ward. We've been deep in the wormhole here.
We decided to do some research.
After an hour and a half of just accepting something that may or may not have been true, said, well, we had previously officially endorsed for the Kentucky Derby. Further ado.
Yep, that was my guy for a little while.
But we're out.
Yeah.
That endorsement has been fully retracted.
New champion's coming.
And guess what spot they're going to be in? The post is number 16, Michael.
Pavlovian.
And why are we on Pavlovian?
Because they have the jockey is a native Columbus person.
Edwin Maldonado is our guy. Columbus's own.
Hometown hero.
And I should have already got this information because the story that I found was from 10 TV, and it was from Television's Adam King, who I talk with every single week on the beat. And he did not mention this to me, that Columbus product Edwin Maldonado was racing in the Kentucky Derby on the back of Pavlovian.
Living out a lifelong dream.
He told Adam King, I want to be a jockey. I always wanted to be a jockey. I was always at the track, and I always wanted to be like my uncle. His uncle was a jockey as well. Not a jokey.
Jockey. He's a funny guy.
He might have been funny.
Yeah,
I can't.
Uncles are usually pretty funny.
That's not in here. I can't speak on that. But the strategy is no plan A, no plan B. Get the break and hope the horse can handle it.
Oh,
I love the confidence.
I love it. And I'm on the Kentucky Derby website reading the background for Pavlovian. He's had around 600,000 career earnings. Woo! He started off a little slow, but he's been getting better. And they say he's...
You want to peak at the right time.
You want to peak at the right time. They say he's an exciting race to watch because he starts out fast. He likes to run, but then he just grinds through and just keeps getting better. Like I said, this horse loves to compete. They describe him as an underdog. They say his bloodline isn't built for 1 1/4 mile. Wow. I don't like hearing that. People in Columbus don't want to hear that. No. You want to tell me about bloodlines? No, it's heart. And that's what they say this horse has.
You can talk about
Pavlovian.
Put up the ones.
You talk about your tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
On that note, I have actual breaking news only you and I care about.
Oh, hit me with it.
The New Day have parted ways with WWE.
What?
Yep.
No.
This just came through in the last 20 minutes.
Oh, they chose to?
Yeah.
Kofi?
And Woods.
Man, Xavier Woods while he was injured. That's wild. How about that?
Is that a brand?
They are, so the New Day was a faction and tag team. Had Kofi Kingston, former world champion, Xavier Woods, competitive, high school collegiate wrestler, and Big E Langston, a former Iowa defensive lineman who I was going to say, he's the one who coined the big meaty men slapping meat. He's built a lot like Michael Bennett, played a similar position, played in the Big Ten. So those three gentlemen were together. They were colorful characters, very entertaining personalities. Created Big E would come out and throw pancakes to the crowd, eat a bunch of pancakes. They created Booty-O's cereal. They forced pop culture into Vince McMahon's face, basically. Yeah, they did. So three awesome characters. That's disheartening information. I was really excited for us to get into our knowledge about the Kentucky Derby that we've acquired in the last 2 hours, and now you've hit me with this downer, Nate Dogg.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
But, Michael, as you said, live life a quarter mile at a time. That's Dom Toretto territory. That's Fast and Furious.
And this is live life 1 1/4 mile at a time.
I'm learning so much.
You got to bet on Pavlovian. That's where the money's at. And what are his odds? 30-1, you said?
30-1.
30-1. That's a way to make money betting on a hometown hero.
When asked what he'd say to a kid in Columbus who saw him on television Saturday and wanted to chase the same dream, Maldonado didn't hesitate. Chase your dreams at all costs. Everything is possible. You create your own future. Just believe in yourself and don't let anybody tell you different. I mean, this is our guy.
Does he have a jersey? Can I buy a jockey jersey? Is that a thing?
I think they're allowed to put sponsorships on there right now. Is it too late for us to just put 97.1 The Fan on this guy?
We need it. Yeah.
I mean,
that's the guy we need representing Columbus.
You said that you don't want to bet on this, but I think
I mean, I have to now. Now that there's a Columbus,
just use Beam's app. Have him get the bet in for you.
There you go.
You don't have to.
And he can loan me the money. He can just put the bet in with his money.
I think we're all in. The endorsement is now official. We will not be rescinding it.
No. Further Ado is out. Pavlovian is in. That's all we need to know. Post 16, he's winning it all.
I'm glad that we're not on Further Ado anymore.
No, he was stressing me out already. Who wants to bet on the favorite?
I think that's too much.
Not
pressure.
Exciting. And a favorite that's in the 18th post, as we know, since we know about the Derby. 18th post doesn't win like that.
It's the death knell.
It's the death knell, but 2 places in?
That's
16th?
Sweet spot.
Sweet spot. That's where the competitors, that's where they shine.
It's also, if you have that underdog mentality, like we know Pavlovian has.
I've been watching him for years.
I mean, I think he took that. Pavlovian, I know he was back in the paddock.
Mm-hmm.
He had the iPad out. He said, 16. I'm Michael Jordan. I took that personally.
That's what they think of him.
That's where you want me to be?
They said his mom and his dad don't come from strong bloodlines. Huh?
No, sir.
That's what you want to hear?
Nuh-uh.
No. I agree. He took that personally.
And
talk about my mom and dad,
You just know that Edwin is getting into his ear right now.
Yeah.
Listen.
Talk about dreams. Talk about dream chasing.
We're talking about 30-1.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the 16 post. No. You got that dog in you.
They say while not the most famous racing families, these bloodlines represent hard-working racehorses that compete well on dirt tracks. I don't know
Midwestern
what's more Ohio than that.
I can't wait.
Yep.
Wow. Suddenly, I am getting a little bit excited.
That's all it takes.
Derby. Wow. Just like that, Michael Bennett's got me on board. There's other things on deck on Saturday, a busy Fan Sports Saturday. We'll recap everything on Friday night, get set for a lovely afternoon when we come back for the final hour of Fan Sports Saturday on the Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number 1, I use it. Number 2, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-5193. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-5193. That's 800-507-5193. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
I'm Dave Puderball with your sports update. Baseball last night saw the Pittsburgh Pirates beat up on the Cincinnati Reds 9-1. Henry Davis homered twice for the Pirates in the victory. The two teams square off again today with first pitch at 4:05. Rhett Lauder taking the mound for the Redlegs. Catch the action here on the Fan starting at 3:35. Out west, the Guardians knocked out the A's 8-5. Reese Hoskins homered for Cleveland and drove in 3 runs in the victory. They square off again at 4:05 with Slade Ciccone on the mound for the Guardians. Last night in Cleveland, the Cavs fell to the Raptors 112-110 in overtime when R.J. Barrett hit a three-pointer with 1.2 seconds left. Game 7 is Sunday in Cleveland. Also, the NBA, Detroit forced Game 7, beating the Magic 93-79, and the Lakers finished off Houston with its 98-78 win. And in the NHL, the Lightning forced Game 7 against the Canadiens with a 1-0 overtime victory. Buffalo finished off the Bruins 4-1, and Vegas knocked out Utah 5-1. Breaking sports news, weapons of the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Not quite the most beautiful May Saturday imaginable. I got Michael Bennett in with me, Nate Dogg behind the glass. Can Mother Nature just give us a break, man? It
was pretty nice when I came in.
The sun's out at least.
Yeah, the sun's out. It's cold. But, I mean, we're in Ohio. We got so many hot days in April and not that much rain in April. I think it's going to flip in May, and I think we're just going to get hammered with some rain coming up.
And it was like a week and a half ago. We were going to go to the Crew game that Wednesday night. In the forecast, it looked like it was probably going to rain around kickoff time. It's 2 hours beforehand. We're just getting pelted with hail.
Hail. You guys got hail.
I was like, what is happening here?
People kept telling me it was hailing in Old Town East, and I live in Old Town East-ish. And I was not getting any hail. I need some hail because I need to get a new roof. So I've been waiting for some. Yeah,
give me some of that golf ball size hail.
That's what I keep hearing about.
You should have just gone outside and started throwing golf balls at your
just
roof.
Claimed the hail.
Yeah, it's like, you have the hail came. Don't worry about that.
I feel like I've heard more about hail in Columbus this year than I have in the last 10 years. Has it always been hailing like crazy in Columbus?
And I don't think so.
I like 3 or 4 of them.
I don't really remember it, coming down like that. Because Liberty went out in the yard. She was trying to catch some. She's like, ow, ow. I'm like, well, it's
got to learn.
It's ice coming out of the sky at full velocity. It's going to hurt. There weren't tiny ones because I don't think that she had ever seen it. She thought it was cool until she realized that we weren't going to go to the Crew game because of the frozen ice coming from the sky. But the Crew are at home tonight, downtown Columbus. Can't wait to get down there. Liberty. She's going to be with Mimi and Papa, so that's just Austin and Allie time. Looking forward to that. They're hosting Minnesota. The Crew beat Knoxville in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday night. A victory tonight would be the 4th straight in all competitions, 3rd straight in MLS action. Formula One is in Miami this weekend. The Sprint, they are on the track right now with the formation lap, so make sure that you tune into that on Apple TV if you've got that, which who doesn't? Full Grand Prix lights out tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Aviators beat the Gamblers at historic Crew Stadium on bobblehead voucher night last night, 24-17. Getting that momentum going, Michael.
They need it.
Just got to have it.
We're hoping that they can maintain it.
We're just all in.
Yeah, you had to start building, stacking up the wins to give a little confidence to the boys.
Yeah. Also, just bring in more Buckeyes to play for your team.
Exactly.
I think that would help. Cavs did fall, as Nate Dogg mentioned, in overtime to Toronto. Game 7 is Sunday in the Land. Tampa Bay beat Montreal in overtime last night. John Tortorella, another Columbus connection, just on fire with Vegas and the Golden Knights closed out the Mammoth with a big third period last night. Series victory for Torts. The Cadillac Championship underway, third round. Also down there in Miami, Cam Young, he's 13 under. He is leading the field by 5. Scotty Scheffler, he will start the day 7 shots back. Last night, critically, on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes beating a debuting Ricky Saints. JC Jane with a huge upset win over Charlotte Flair, thanks to some assistance from Fatal Influence. And then as Nate Dogg dropped in, you didn't put it in the update. I really thought you might.
I didn't, no.
Apparently, it's not just the New Day.
Yeah, I think JT Mateo and Tangaloa.
So the MFT, the Bloodline, also getting wiped out a little bit there in the midst of a storyline. So big moving and shaking right there heading into Backlash last week, which I know I can get Michael Bennett on board for. I think he's going to be watching that next week. We've already come around on the Kentucky Derby, but we're also going to just get you in. There's now more spots available on the roster. So we're going to get you training for the WWE ring.
Yeah, I don't, maybe. See what that money looks. We'll see what the contract looks like.
Well, they'll buy you a new roof.
Hey, there we go. That's all I needed to hear. I'm in.
All right, so you look at, a day like this, if it gets a little chilly, you said you're going to go to the party. Are you committed to the party for the Kentucky Derby? Is that what's on your television today?
Yeah, I'll probably be at the party later tonight. I don't know how much longer I'll stay after the horses run, but I think it'd be fun to kind of get in the moment with other people that care about the Derby and let myself get caught up in it a little bit. And now that I know that Pavlovian has a Columbus jockey, I'll be able to actually have somebody to root for. After that, we got any basketball games going on tonight? I watched all of them last night.
I believe we've got a little Game 7 action, Sixers and Celtics. That's at 1:30.
Okay.
So there's options, I think, pretty much all day. You got the sprint race already going on. Qualifying will be at 4 o'clock for the Miami Grand Prix. I know Beamer got into F1. Has he dragged you into that like he did soccer?
A little bit. I started clinging on to Lewis Hamilton. He's an exciting one to watch. Verstappen is just obviously on a different level. So I like F1. I think it's exciting to a certain extent. I don't usually get too much into the different storylines within it.
That's the best part.
I'm not looking up the schedule for F1.
Okay.
But I do like
I gave you today's
updates,
schedule.
and that's all we needed. Yeah. So I might throw it on just in the background. It's like golf to me.
Okay.
It's fun to watch. It lasts, what is it, like 2 hours or something like that?
Well, golf will take your entire afternoon up.
Yeah, well, I also don't watch golf. So.
That's a nap time activity.
Yeah. I watch golf if I'm at somebody's house who watches golf.
I didn't really understand that growing up. It'd be Sunday afternoon, and my dad and I both were big golfers. We usually go play around in the morning, and then he'd turn that on, and I was like, I would be watching every shot and just like on the edge of my seat as a kid. And whether that was Tiger or any other tournament, I'm like, I got to know what's going on. And I was like, my dad would immediately fall asleep and take the nap. Now, I didn't know, like, oh, yeah, when you're an adult and have responsibilities and you're not on the work clock schedule,
yep.
You're going to take advantage of that where you can. And the soothing sounds of golf can help send you off to dreamland.
I think that makes sense. Like you said, when I was younger, it was just the most boring thing I've ever seen. And I wasn't looking to nap on weekends as much. I didn't respect golf until I got out there and tried to play golf. Okay. And then you start seeing, oh, that was an incredible shot that person just hit, or an incredible round they were able to put together. But yeah, I still don't throw golf on. I'd rather play some video games or take the dog for a walk or something like that.
What video game is in regular rotation for you right now?
I play 3 video games. Civilization 6, FIFA, which just gets my blood pressure through the roof, and then Battlefront 2. I mean, FIFA, it's not a fun time. I don't enjoy it, but I play it.
Is that what you and Beam were?
Yeah, it just ruins the night. It ruins the night. We'll have a good time if we play some Battlefront 2. You just go around, saving the solar system or whatever. But
as you do.
FIFA I respect the Civ.
Civ 6 is my go-to. I got like 1,400 hours on that game. I love that game. I play the same Civilization pretty much every single time. It's just a nice, you don't get mad playing Civ 6.
Do you nuke people with Gandhi?
I have never. I've maybe nuked somebody once. I tried. Other than that, I never nuke. I really like the culture victories. I think they're a nice slow burn. I like playing as Congo. He's fun to play as. You can build cities you can build huge cities, get a nice little culture victory. But yeah, Civ 6 is my go-to.
Nate Dogg, if you look at this schedule for the afternoon, you got to pick one thing you wanted to watch most. What would it be?
I'm going to watch AAA wrestling tonight.
Okay, now we go.
I haven't had a week of like a day to like just chill out for like a month. I've got a brand new video game I'm playing most of the day, and then I'm watching AAA tonight.
So what are you playing?
A game called Saros, which is a third-person shooter combined with the bullet hell. So you're just zipping around, dodging like thousands of bullets coming at you at once and shooting guys back. It's great.
Have you seen all the hype about Crimson Desert?
I have.
Are you going to get that?
Thinking about it. I've heard mixed things.
I feel like I'm nervous because it seems like it's such an in-depth game. By the way, this is turning into a video game segment, and it will stay a video game segment.
I mean, yes. what I planned was, what did you want to do with your Saturday? And I don't care where it goes. I'm learning so much about video games and horses today, and all I hope to do in this seat is get educated.
So what I'm struggling with as a 33-year-old man with a full-time job is these video games that come out now require so much. They are not they're not easy for me. I'm like, okay, people are like, oh, you got to just, the first 30 hours are going to be a grind. And then, you start figuring it out. I'm not, for what? I'm not getting paid for this. Like, it's tough for me to put that kind of time into these video games now. And that's what I've heard about Crimson Desert. It's
like another 100-hour game.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got, incredible mechanics and visuals, and the story's okay. But I'm like, man, I don't think I can just drop that kind of time into these games anymore.
There was a game that came out a couple weeks ago called Pragmata. That was just a perfect 10-hour game, and it was great the whole time through, and it was done. I'm like, this is what I need in my busy schedule.
More of those, exactly. Just a nice little story, some fun conflict or whatever it is. But I mean, these games that they're putting out now are just the complication level where they're like, oh, like even FIFA. I was playing, me and Beam played a game last night, and we learned, we're just getting cooked. We've been getting cooked for the last couple of weeks. And we figured out, oh, okay.
Well, he's shirking on his 30-hour game.
I know, this guy, he's always like, oh, I got kids, I got a wife. I don't want to hear that. We're getting
Are you committed to the game or not?
Do you want to be great? I had to give him a couple speeches.
Scared to be great? Is that the...
I'm not going to say that about him. I wouldn't say that about him. Beam, if you're listening, I didn't say you were scared to be great.
It sounded like you were broaching the topic.
No. He's, like I said, whether it's a good excuse or not, he's a good father and a good husband, so he has to put them first. But I don't have kids. I don't have a wife, and I don't need to be getting cooked on FIFA. Oh, man. Don't get me started. I've got to
No, you're starting.
FIFA
calm down.
Is the most infuriating video game that's ever been created. I can only play one sports game at a time because they are all custom engineered to make you as mad as possible, so you spend money in some way. But I'm good enough at FIFA to expect myself to win a lot, but not good enough to win a lot. And that's a tough middle ground to be in.
But you're not afraid to be great, though. I mean, that's the difference.
I'm afraid to not be great.
It's terrifying. Don't want to hear that. What team do you play at the same team every time?
I'm a Liverpool guy.
Okay.
Liverpool's not what they were in this current FIFA. So
did you just have to make sure that it wasn't Manchester United? So that
I won't play as Manchester United or Man City or anybody else other than Real or Bayern. Okay. You got to. I mean, when you're trying to run, or France, I love playing as France. That's a talent-packed team.
All right. Well, that is your Fan Sports Saturday video game breakdown. I hope you've liked all of our insight on that and horses and jockeys. Now I'm going to make Michael Bennett take a trip down memory lane and think about the next steps for the Buckeyes. Now that they've been drafted, what's it like to head to a rookie camp? We will ask our expert next on Fan Sports Saturday.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
The savings are so good at Great Lakes. But have you seen our inventory? With over 1,000 new Hyundais to choose from, there's no need to settle at glakeshyundai.com. Find a new Palisade with the exact options you need, or a new Tucson in that color you have been seeing around town. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile coverage. At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings and selection are so good.
No way. Gas prices shot up again.
I know, but I got us covered.
So generous. What's your deal?
What's my deal? I went to Metro and saved. Got 4 lines for just $25 each and 4 free new Samsung Galaxy A17 5G phones, and all on the T-Mobile network.
Ah, how about we go to Metro today?
Get
Get that more for your money feeling. Visit your Metro by T-Mobile store. Just bring your numbers. Net available if you've been with Metro or T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
During our Latin Flavors event, mix and match select varieties of fresh Tyson chicken. They're buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Maybe it was a family vacation or a school field trip. But there you were, standing in awe at a national park. We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
I have a special announcement. Common Man and Timmy is the most listened to radio show in the state of Ohio. Coming in at number 2, Common Sense. You should listen anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
By the afternoon, temps will warm into the mid-50s with a partly cloudy sky. Patchy frost and fog again Saturday night into Sunday. Will start near freezing. By the afternoon, we're back up to about 60 with sunshine. And then on Monday, back into the 70s again with sunshine, but a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon is possible. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Step one, get drafted. Pretty hard step.
Pretty hard step.
You've already accomplished something pretty significant. Step two, sign a contract. Probably a pretty...
It kind of follows.
That's a fun day, right?
Yeah.
Put your pen to paper.
Yeah.
Give them your bank account information. And know that money's rolling in.
It's a good feeling.
Good feeling. And then you got rookie camp. So, we're now a little over a week removed from that process. And by the way, you can also get in, sort of the side door, the back door, undrafted free agent. Saw a couple opportunities for Ohio State players that way. Tywan Malone, C.J. Donaldson, some guys going down there to New Orleans. But just a lot of ways to do it. But either way, you start to get into these rookie camps. So you've already accomplished something really significant. Now you have to try and make the team. And I know the whole process, Mike, you went through this, and it's probably in some ways a blur because I think about having covered it. And Berman and I have done some documentary stuff and followed guys along, whether that's diaries, whether that's video content of, all right, your Ohio State career is over. You're jetting out to Arizona. You're going to Texas. You're going to Florida. You're going to train. And all of this is now geared towards not playing football, but running a fast 40 and learning how to do the shuttle and all these, to get prepared for the underwear Olympics on pro day and the combine and all of that stuff. You finish that chapter. It's all happening at once. You're changing your diet and you're changing your body. And it's not Mickey Marotti necessarily working with all these guys because they're not trying to get ready for football in that exact moment. But once you're done with that, all right, you got to get ready to get the pads back on in the summer and get into a rookie camp and learn a playbook. And all of it just seems like it happens right at once.
Yeah. It's a whirlwind. Like you said, as soon as you get drafted, you get the call, and then you're on a plane in, for some guys, it's literally 2 days. Other guys, it's 4. But it's very quick. It's all happening at once, and you got to, get acclimated in the new city, find a place to live. Usually your agent helps out with that, or maybe your parents, if they're pretty hands-on. But that rookie mini camp, it's not much of a, it's not grueling. They're not trying to kill you. They're not trying to test you out. They've already, you've already signed your contract. You're there now. It's time to be a professional. It's more of an acclimation period to let you get to know the coaches, show you how they do drills, show you what the rhythm of the team is going to be, so that once OTAs start, you're not trying to figure out where do you go, who's your group, who's your coach, how do they want their drills run, what kind of drills, because NFL drills are very different than college drills. For better or for worse, I never really understood why they're so different.
How do you mean?
So college drills are, every drill, everything's specific to the coach. But Coach Johnson, his focus was very much on quick feet. He really is a believer in quick feet. He's a believer in flipping your hips. But the way you flip your hips in college as a defensive lineman is different than the pros. Some teams, some defensive lines don't believe in flipping your hips. They say, throw a rip, run through it, be stronger than the other guy, and get to the quarterback. When I was in Jacksonville, we believed in flipping our hips, but you separate the upper body from the lower body. Coach Johnson showed us a lot of putting them in tandem. So when you throw your right arm to flip the hips, you throw your right leg too, which is supposed to flip you around. While in the NFL, they showed us throw your upper body and point the toe with your left foot. It just starts getting really specific.
Yeah.
They do more bag work in the NFL, where you're running either through a line of bags where you club the bag, flip your hips, club the bag, but they want you to do it at full speed rather than chop your feet club. They want you to be able to be fluid. I felt like it was a much bigger emphasis on fluidity rather than simply quick feet. Now, I started doing, later in my career, started doing drills when I saw that, I went back to some of Coach Johnson's drills because fluidity is good, but you need those quick feet. You need to be able to chop your feet. You need to be able to go through bags. I remember a drill that I saw Aaron Donald doing, and I started doing it. And unfortunately, I broke my ankle before I got to really put that into work. But it made me feel quicker, where you set up 2 rows of bags and you chop over these bags, sprint, chop over the bags, sprint, quick turn, go back, chop over the bags, throw a couple football moves in there. And it increases stamina, endurance, quick feet. making sure your feet are off the ground. You don't want to be dragging your toes, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But those are all things that they want to teach these guys in a 3-day period crash course and a rookie minicamp for each position-specific thing, because you don't want to slow down practice having some rookie fumble and bumble through the drills. And they really expect that 3 days that you're going to pick up the basics of the defense or the basics of your position, whatever it is. You're going to pick up how they like their drills run. You're going to pick up how you're supposed to operate in the weight room. And if you get to OTAs and you're starting to hold stuff up, there's no,
you gotta go.
He's just a rookie. Yeah, I don't know if you have to go, but you're going to hear about it. You're not going to be seen as much of a professional as they want you to be. There is no more hand-holding in the NFL. It is, you're a professional. You're responsible for yourself. We're going to give you opportunities in the weight room. It's up to you whether you want to lift the weights. You can go in there and just screw around, and there's not going to be a coach screaming at you. This is your job. This is your career. Go ahead and screw around, and we will cut you in September. And it's so much more cutthroat, because in college football, they'll keep you on their team. They've invested in you. They want to. It's a growth aspect a little bit more than the NFL. But in the NFL, you get there, and it's on you to go be great. Go be great.
I know it's been 11 years, I guess, at this point since you went through that process. And I'm sure, given the flood of responsibilities and changes and everything that happens, a lot of the details have probably slipped away over time. But when you think about that entire process, whether it's the build up to the draft, whether it's, Jacksonville, letting you know that that's where you were heading, or a rookie camp or an OTA, when did it hit you? Is there a memory that you have in your mind? It's like, now I'm really in the NFL. Now I'm really a professional. This is on me. What was that welcome moment in your mind?
So it was a whirlwind, man. Going from the national championship to training for the draft.
Where'd you train?
I trained in Arizona, which I fell in love with Arizona. I don't think there's any place more beautiful than Arizona between the months of November and May. It was picturesque. But
not a lot of Ohio weather out there.
Not a lot of Ohio weather. It's not quite the summer Arizona weather. It's like 75 degrees, clear skies, landscape stretching out forever. It was absolutely beautiful. And I was rehabbing injuries. I had, my college career had plagued with injuries. Didn't get much time to actually train since I was doing so much rehab. And then I had more injuries. That was the story of my life. But I enjoyed my time in Arizona, then came back, pro day, draft. And then, like I said, 3 days after the draft, flying out to Jacksonville for rookie minicamp. I think we had our rookie symposium at some point. I can't remember if that was in the summer or before that. But you're just going and trying to keep your head afloat, because it's a long year. The talent level is absolutely insane. Like I tell people, when you play in high school and you're, generally the best athlete on the field, you can take some plays off and you still look really good.
Right.
In college, if you're going to get drafted and go play in the NFL, you're probably still one of the best athletes on the field. You can take a couple less plays off and still look pretty good. You get tired, or you
still get to play Purdue.
Still get to play Purdue. Still get to play some of those smaller teams where the guys just can't keep up with you, whether it's because of just physically they just aren't built that way, or they don't have as good a coaching, whatever it is. In the NFL, if you take a play off, you're getting buried, especially at D-line. There is no unless you're Calais Campbell, Marcel Darius.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of all-time athletes, I'm told.
He's up there. 19 years as a defensive end in the NFL is outlandish.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so that was an adjustment where it was like, okay, I have to give everything I have every single play. There were a couple times OTAs I was recovering from a hamstring tear, so that wasn't a welcome to the NFL moment.
Nope.
Camp wasn't a welcome to it wasn't a welcome to the NFL moment, because I was trying to survive. I did not know how to handle the Jacksonville heat. I was losing 16 pounds a day. Hadn't learned that when you lose 16 pounds in a practice because of heat, you're nauseous the rest of the day. So you're not going to be able to get that weight back until you're no longer dehydrated. So I was trying to eat the weight back.
Oh.
You got to drink the weight back first, and then you can eat the weight back. So I would say my welcome to the NFL moment probably came against the Titans. They're known for having a big offensive line. They had a good offensive line when I was there, and taking on the first double team from the Titans was something else. because they come downhill. These guys have been playing for 7 years. They got a wife and kids at home. They're on their second contract. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm coming off of losing 30 pounds in a month at 270 pounds or whatever it was. And I'm like, all right, now hands have to be in the right spot. Feet have to be in the right spot. Have to time the double team perfectly. Split the double team. That was probably my welcome to the NFL moment. Was the Titans offensive line.
All right. So that wasn't a victorious rep.
It was a grind. I wasn't getting thrown around. There was a point later in the season when I'd gotten a couple stingers and my arms didn't work, where that makes double teams a lot harder. And I was getting thrown around a little bit then. But no, I was able to hold my own. I think for the most part, I had a decent rookie year. I started coming on strong, had a really good game in the last game against the Saints. But yeah, it was definitely a learning adjustment, especially coming off of that camp, not knowing how to keep weight on. Then my second year, I was poised to do much, much better until once again, injuries rear their head.
Those darn injuries. So as Mike mentioned, he has traveled the world playing sports. Now we're just watching him. What's left on his bucket list? Maybe Nate Dogg's bucket list. Maybe my bucket list. We'll break that down on a Kentucky Derby Saturday. It's 2 minutes on the Fan.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 5.99% APR, 6.02% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. An AC tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Proudly serving Columbus homeowners for 90 years and counting. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Nate Dogg has already been to a Kentucky Derby as an 11-year-old.
I've been to one.
Michael Bennett has been to one. I haven't. And I never really had, that wasn't on my sports bucket list, but I really wish I was going to be there today for Pavlovian.
Yeah.
You know, I missed the boat on that. Got Edwin Maldonado, Mountain Up, underdog horse.
A local guy.
But it does seem, you know, like there's a lot of appeal to actually be there for that. People who haven't been, they add that to their list. You think about things like the Indy 500 or, you know, a lot of people down there going at the Miami Grand Prix this weekend. I was able to scratch that off to go to the Circuit of the Americas and the F1 race in Austin a couple years ago. Going Ohio State's bye week, off week actually lined up with that race again this year. So we'll be going. We do that right with my folks down there in Texas and my sister and my nieces and her husband, you know, camping out and doing all that. Definitely you should add that to your list if you haven't. But I'm curious what things for you guys you still want to go do that you haven't got to.
I have a long sports bucket list. Like there are more domestic sporting events that I want to go to. I've heard from everybody that an LSU game at night that's, you know, maybe good on good game where it's a little bit more sought after is just an incredible environment. I've gotten to play in some really crazy environments that I'm blessed for, but I've heard that LSU is one of the best. I've gotten to go to a Super Bowl as a spectator, which was a lot of fun. So I don't know if I would go back to another Super Bowl just because prices are crazy. And
I've always said that because the Super Bowl for me is watching with your friends and family and having a ton of food and not having to deal with the stadium. Like, I don't really, because that would be the question that I get the most. Like, don't you want to cover a Super Bowl someday? And I'm like, no. Super Bowl Sunday is like a sacred tradition for me. I don't want to work.
I'm in the same boat as you. It's so much more fun for me to watch it with a group of people you care about, have all the food that you want to have, and not be, dealing with the crowds and all that kind of stuff, and be able to actually watch the game, I think is a lot of fun. Internationally, I told you that, when I was a younger man, I was like, it would be a lot of fun to go around to as many countries as I could and compete in whatever combat sport they have on the wrestling side. I was like, I'd see sumo wrestlers.
I knew you wanted to be a professional wrestler. I knew it.
I'd see the sumo
I said
wrestlers.
it 2 hours ago.
And I was like, man, I could toss that dude out of that ring. And so I still would love to go watch sumo wrestlers. I'd love to go watch the Mongolian wrestlers and doing what they do. I'd love to go watch the Senegalese wrestlers. And then just go and seeing what each country's favorite sport is. I saw something, I can't remember. This is going to trend. I can't remember which country. I think it was a Pacific Islander country. It might have been the Philippines. I can't remember. But they have some sport where it's like volleyball, but they kick the ball.
Kick it, yeah.
That's insane. The athleticism in that is outlandish. So I think it would be cool to go to one of those. But I love the variety of sports in this world. I don't know if I would probably want to go to one of those cricket matches where it's like 250,000 people or something in a stadium. I bet that's just an event. But all these different countries with their variety of sports and how fired up people get and how they express their pride for their team, I think would be a lot of fun.
That's a great point, Mike, because when I took a golf trip with my parents, 16, 17 years ago, right when I was starting to date Allie, and we were trying to play golf around Ireland. We were going to see some castles. It wasn't to go experience the sporting culture over there, and I would have known that they like soccer and that rugby's big. What we found when we got over there, we just were in one of these small towns, was professional hurling. I had never heard of it.
Hurling or hurdling?
Hurling.
Throwing stuff.
Well, it's, I can't even really compare it. It's like if you were playing rugby or soccer, but you have a bat in your hand.
Okay.
You're running around with a bat, and it's this. It's kind of like a baseball, and you dribble it with this hurling bat.
Mm-hmm.
You take 2 steps. You gotta pass it to somebody else. You don't get to just run forever with it. So it's got elements of a bunch of different sports, and it's got traditional uprights and a soccer net underneath it. 2 different ways to score. I had no idea what it was. I didn't intend to see it, and we just like stumbled into. I don't know if it was like a high school level, if it was college level, if it was minor league. I don't know. It was just going on down the street from the pub that we were in. Like, oh, you guys got to go see the hurling match. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but okay. You said, and it was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't know the rules. I don't know the scoring. But my dad and I were like, this is sick.
Yeah.
And we're like, where's the next one? And
It's
the next
such a
city
glimpse into the local culture.
You guys, it's like, I got to buy a hurling bat and bring that home. Like, what would I ever do with it? There's not like a hurling pitch for me to go just, hitting on this bat by myself. But I would never think to put that on the bucket list, but just going around and like trying to find out what the local sporting culture is it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Nate Dogg, what's on your list?
Technically, the Olympics is still on it, but I'm knocking that one out because I've got soccer tickets in 2 years.
Okay.
So I'll be knocking that one off. I want to see a whiteout. I've been to Penn State during the day. I want to experience a whiteout. I'm about to get press box snobbed. I want to do a Rose Bowl.
I was trying not to do that with the whiteout because, it is. Now, Michael was playing in one.
Crazy.
So he, didn't have to worry about the traffic in and out.
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced Penn State traffic.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Never mind then.
And then I need to experience Stanley Cup Finals at Nationwide Arena.
Ooh.
See how that building rocking that whole time.
Remember how great it was during the sweep of the Lightning?
Yeah.
I mean,
It was even great during that Bruins series, even if they lost.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I just don't have the same fond memories for round 2, but just the energy in Nationwide.
Couldn't you hear yourself think?
Yeah. It was crazy. It was so awesome.
That's the environment you want to be just surrounded by when you're going to a sporting event. And it's rare. That's seeking those out, because even, the international stuff, you're not always going to be in those environments. That's why LSU, I've heard, is similar to that. But when we're this far apart and can't even hear a lick of what you're saying, that's the kind of environment that fills your body with some energy.
Yeah, I've only experienced that a couple times. That was what it was like at the end of Game 4 against the Lightning. That's the way I remember it. Now, 2004, I was covering a Tennessee-Florida game, and both were in the top 10, and that was at the peak of, for all the criticism that I will justifiably level at Tennessee's fan base and its athletic department now. Back then, when they were competing at a high level, and you had 105,000 people in Neyland, and the way it's built is, that structure is different than the Horseshoe, where it just goes straight up and it traps the sound in. And Tennessee hit a game-winning field goal to beat Florida. That was the first time in my life that I was like, I can't hear anything. Like, you next to me, I would have heard nothing whatsoever. That was pretty great. I did cover an LSU Tennessee game that was a lot more famous for the Vols trying to win with 13 players on the field defensively for a goal line stand instead of the noise in Tiger Stadium. But it's very cool. The one that I had highest on my bucket list of all time, and Allie and I were able to check off, was going to the World Cup in Brazil in 2014. And it makes me so irritated and frustrated and angry, Mike, because I love soccer. I love covering, following along with the U.S. national team. And in 2014, we were there with American Outlaws. We went to every group stage game. We were also able to, where we were in Natal, we were able to go see Italy against Uruguay. And everything that we spent to be down there for 17 days, I think is less than what it cost if we were to go with Allie, Liberty, and myself to the U.S., just their opening game in L.A.
Yeah.
The ticket prices have priced everyone out. Hey, I'm serious when I say, flight, 17 days of hotel, and 4 games that we went to, I think it's less than what's going on right now. And you made a great point to me when we were talking about this earlier, Michael. It's like the World Cup is supposed to be the bucket list for everybody around the world, and they should have an opportunity to do it. They shouldn't have to mortgage their lives to accomplish it, and that makes me sick.
I went to get Christmas gifts for my nephew because he's a big soccer fan and player. I was like, I'll take him to a World Cup game, and then I looked at the ticket price and I went, we're going to go to a crew game? And even those are over $100 now.
Yeah. This was the first time that they've shifted it because it was all controlled. We set for Italy and Uruguay. You have no idea what tickets you're getting. It's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And we just put in for whatever it was. Tier 3, it's like it's a bonus game. We were in the first row of the stadium for 2 of the most prestigious, federations in the world with, Suarez bit somebody in that game. All right, that's what kind of game we're talking about. That's first row for $100.
Yeah,
and now it's like $5,000 to go see the U.S. play.
Yeah,
a meaningless group stage game because of the expansion of the field. Give me a break.
The World Cup was always on my bucket list too, and I think I've missed that wave. But I'm with you. I think that the World Cup was an opportunity for people from a whole bunch of different countries and cultures to come together, to get to know each other and share cultures and cheer on their team. And everybody, the energy around the World Cup when I was growing up was always a togetherness, even with the competition. I'd say a togetherness even more so than the Olympics. And so to see that they've really said, screw that, we're trying to make money, I think is disgusting. I was about to say I don't understand it. Of course I understand it. But to be able to just push that aside and say, no, you only get to go to these games if you're the wealthiest of the wealthy, or like you said, mortgage your life for it, I think is disgusting.
Yeah. Well, at least if you go to the Kentucky Derby, you can pay for it by winning on Pavlovian. We will wrap up Fan Sports Saturday with a Ask Michael Bennett Anything segment when we come back on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
During our Latin Flavors event, mix and match select varieties of fresh Tyson chicken. They're buy one, get one free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself. But here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Educators, healthcare workers, first responders, and military. The Columbus Aviators salute you with $10 tickets to any home game. Get yours at UFLaviators.com.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. Gas prices are up. You can drive smarter with a fuel-efficient Civic, Accord, or CR-V hybrid. More miles on every tank and keep more money in your pocket. And here's the best part. Great lease and finance rates are available right now for qualified buyers. Get so much more out of your tank of gas. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin. They're just south of 270 on Sawmill Road, or shop anytime at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, her little brother's belly laugh, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. It all connects. But at Child Fund, so do we, through everything we do, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
Coffee, sandwich, hash browns. Tired of the same breakfast routine? Time to refresh your morning ritual with a $6 Tim's Trio from Tim Hortons. It starts with a premium blend of freshly brewed coffee, a hot, savory breakfast sandwich made with freshly cracked eggs, and for a tasty twist, a daily baked donut to sweeten the deal. Ask for the $6 Tim's Trio. Your morning ritual refreshed. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer. Medium coffee only. Terms apply.
Save big money on everything at Menards. Take control of your outdoor space with Roundup, Weed, and Grass Killer. The Pump and Go container is ready and easy to use. With the Pump and Go sprayer, you don't need to mix your own liquid, and you get up to 10 minutes of continuous spray. Save big on Roundup, Weed, and Grass Killer. Plus, check out our flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan. We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Sunday mornings at 8.
It's the Fan Call-In Show, presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
What a derby day. Been awesome hanging out with my guys, Nate Dogg and Michael Bennett. And I don't...
By the way, we found some rare footage of play-by-play from that hurling game you went to.
Did you?
He's the senior hurler.
Mike Riccardotti, of course, was doing play-by-play for that game.
Of course he did. He's everywhere. I mean, that sport was nuts, man. I'm telling you.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Check it out. And let me know how long it takes you to figure out what the rules actually are. This show is great because you guys have been awesome. It's flown by. Excited for the rest of this Saturday. And for Pavlovian, who is officially endorsed.
Yeah, he's the horse of Columbus, the jockey of Columbus.
It's Edwin Maldonado. And Television's Adam King had a story and some video footage interview with him earlier in the week, so you can check that out on 10 TV. I asked for questions from Michael Bennett. I said, ask him anything. He's the most well-rounded individual I've ever met in my entire life.
Oh,
you can spread the net out, but all they want to know, like multiple people, they want to know about what happened. What was the mindset getting ready for Alabama? You know, the locker room buildup. Like everybody wants to know because you played such a pivotal role in that title run and that whole year in 2014 on the way to the national championship. You were in the heart of it. And, you know, Urban, I think, shared recently, you know, some of your motivational messages to the team. But, you know, this one came in right here. It was like Michael gave a famous speech in the locker room, you know, but what was the team thinking leading up to that game when no one gave them a shot? What did Urban do to motivate the team? How was the preparation? And then there were just a bunch of people like, I want to know about 2014.
I mean, 2014 was an incredible season. It was a tough season, but that brought us closer. We had a lot of, you know, adversity in that season. We had some guys go down. We lost a teammate. Like it was a tough season. But by the time we got to the Sugar Bowl, we had so much confidence in each other. We were so united. And then the lead up to it, you hear all of the stuff, because that was still when the SEC truly was dominant. You know, I never would have admitted back then because Alabama was something else. I don't know about the whole SEC, but Alabama was just they were a force. And they had been just absolutely massacring teams for the last, I want to say 5-6 years, something like that. And so we would see all of that stuff on ESPN or whatever it was where they say, you know, Ohio State can't keep up with SEC speed. They can't keep up with them in the trenches.
Well, hold on now. Someone who worked at ESPN then.
You gave us a shot?
Picked Ohio State to beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Now, they had 47 people, quote-unquote experts. I would never put myself in that category, but that's what it said. And 46 picked Alabama, and one person did not.
Say the name.
He's sitting in this chair right now.
A true believer.
True believer.
A true believer. That was, and we appreciate that because it was making me sick.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. Back in the day, I had a chip on my shoulder. I couldn't stand anybody. It wasn't even about doubting me. I couldn't stand anybody doubting the team. I was like, I've seen what these guys can do. I know what's in their hearts. And you're just going to
Have you seen
us?
Zeke?
Yeah, you're just going to dismiss us as not fast enough, not strong enough, not gritty enough.
Right.
You don't understand who we are. So that lead up, and Urban, you know, he had a lot of strengths, but one of his greatest strengths was a motivator. I don't even remember him feeding us press clippings. It was just straight up, you know, this is who we are. We are greatness. We're chasing the championship. We're not about to get scared of Alabama. And having kind of the mentality or the way people were trying to frame it that we should be intimidated by Alabama made us sick. And we were, you know, a gritty group of guys. And I functioned off a lot of anger in football back in college. And that was kind of what fueled me. And I would push that out onto the team and say, yo, I look around and I'm seeing, you know, Curtis Grant and Duran Grant and Joey Bosa and Adolphus Washington and Steve Miller and all these different guys, Von Bell. And you're going to tell me that we should be nervous? We should be scared? And so that was always the message that I would send to the team was, we got our guys. We don't care who it is, who they put on the other side of the field. I have faith in our guys, and our team also shared that faith. So going into that game, we were ready to crack some skulls and show them who we are, what Ohio can produce.
I remember, it's interesting to hear you put it in those terms now, because one of the things that I always hearken back to was media day at Mercedes-Benz in the Superdome. And you guys are the ones that I spend the most time around. Obviously, I don't cover Alabama, I cover Ohio State. But the way you came in, and I already knew this, when you think about the personality that you had, or Tyvis, or Cardale at that time, and the father-son, Zeke, Jeff Hireman, whatever the salmoning thing that was going on then. Like, you guys were loose, you were joking, there were players that would go to other tables. And then Alabama came in, and you guys couldn't have known this, but like, they were so tight. They did not show any personality. They were stiff. They were rigid. Not talking about their athleticism. Of course, they were a Nick Saban Alabama team, physically imposing. They looked uncomfortable. Yeah. All the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
You know, you guys might have felt the underdog and you wanted to prove something, but you didn't change who you were. And I felt like that was the time, that particular day, I had already picked Ohio State to win that game. But I was like, this Alabama team, I don't think they know what's coming.
Yeah, we were so blessed to have so many different leadership styles. Like you mentioned, Tyvis, the role he played on that team, aside from being great at his job, he kept us loose. Because, like I said, I functioned off of fire and brimstone. And, you know, we had other guys who the way they led was to put their arm around you and say, you know, I love you, all that kind of stuff. And I would do that too. But then you had Tyvis who would joke around and keep it light. And you just had so many different leadership styles, so many different personalities that just had a beautiful blend when it came to actually performing at a high level. And then, yeah, that Alabama team, like I've told this story 1,000 times. When we went down 21-6, not one person on the sideline was concerned. We knew we were beating Alabama up, and it just wasn't going for us. And, you know, they got some short fields. Our offense was driving down the field, and then just something would happen.
Yep.
But we knew it was going to be some growing pains with Cardale. We knew what he was capable of, but you just throw this man into the fire, some stuff's not going to work out. And that's
also against Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, it wasn't a Cardale type of thing. It was like he's gonna get it. He's got what it takes. Our offense has what it takes. We're gonna be all right. So going down 21-6, I remember sitting on the sideline looking around, seeing whose eyes weren't right. Didn't see one. Everybody was ready to go.
It was awesome. And then you had that turning point. I think Zeke's run gets all the acclaim, and it has the catchy slogan with 85 yards through the heart of the South. It was an awesome play, no doubt about that. But it was, to me, the Evan Spencer throw to Mike Thomas. Oh. And you said that maybe you didn't need it. You felt even at 21-6 that you guys were still going to get it right. But it certainly felt, watching, that you needed a play to go your way to ensure that momentum was there. And the throw, the catch, the call, everything about it was sheer perfection. I know we could probably spend another hour breaking that down, but we can't. So I'm gonna cut you off because I know
I was getting fired up.
I know
Blood
you
was
were
pumping.
That just means that they're gonna have to have us back in for another Fan Sports Saturday. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning, a busy Derby day. Don't forget, Pavlovian is officially endorsed by Michael Bennett, Austin Ward, and Nate Dogg. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Something is coming up next, and then the Reds are going to be on this afternoon at 3:30. We'll see you.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays